Week live. It's the last of our live shows for the week, but that doesn't mean all of the societies within the show are any less important than the other societies we've shown. I'm Alex Buckmaster, and today I'm joined by...
Eliza Broadbent.
Hello.
Really lovely. We've got an extortionate number of societies.
What's an extortionate amount?
I think we're looking at around 50, 60 societies.
That's not bad.
Including some exec, including some reps. It's been a long week, but there's a lot on offer here at Leeds Union.
Yeah, well, to think about it, there's about over 300 societies that you can join at the Union.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's also just not limited to students at the University of Leeds,
absolutely.
Trinity, any of them.
Yeah.
You can join the societies, which I think is great, because, you know, the City of Leeds is basically like one big family in a way.
Especially in the current situation. I think reaching out and getting involved in societies is going to be really important for students to do. So.
And we do have some welfare societies coming up later in the show to make sure you keep your mental health in check, if you need support, which I think is really important with all the new restrictions coming in and all that kind of not good stuff, let's just call it that.
But at the same time, there's a lot of other fun stuff coming out. We've got Surf Society, and what else have we got? We've got theatre groups coming up as well, but I don't know, what's up next?
Well, up next, we've got Mentality Society. They're really interested in talking about men's mental health. Coming after that, we've got Enactor Society. I'm going to be interested, what is social enterprise?
Social enterprise is something which I would not be able to explain to anyone else, so I'm looking forward to catching up with them.
No, and then after that, we've got Music Impact in the Community, which is such... I've not seen much about the society, but I've had a look.
No, but it sounds really interesting, and we should get involved.
I think I'd be really good on like some maracas.
Maracas, yeah. I'll stick to the triangle. Okay. But next up, Kat, our media rep, caught up with the general interest rep. So let's take a little look at what they had to say about welcoming freshers this year.
I'm Kat from LSTV. I'm here with River, who's our general interest rep for this year. River, would you like to explain a little bit about what your role is?
The main focus of my role is going to be supporting the general interest committees this year. Helping them with any issues they have, redirecting them to the parts of the union that can help them with the problems they have. I'm also involved in society formations, which unfortunately are on hold for semester one, but I also have a say in grant applications. Me and the other reps all have input on that. The general interest rep has run something called Geek Night for the last couple years. It's like this collaboration of a lot of nerd societies where we hold a party. That's obviously not happening this semester. But yeah, I think that's a big sort of the main things of the role.
So leading on from that, how do you think your role has changed because of COVID?
Well, I mean, I think these sort of official things we have to do haven't changed very much. We're still supporting societies. We're still having meetings for grant applications. I think just the way that it's all done is changing. Everything's now online via some form of online meeting thing. Societies need more help figuring out how to do things now, and whether it's okay compared to before because of all the sort of restrictions and guidelines they have to follow. The things themselves sort of haven't changed, but what we're doing hasn't changed. It's how we're doing it, I think. Though going back to the sort of Geek Night thing, that's obviously changed. What has changed is there's an impetus for us to come up with more online activities to sort of get societies involved, and it's sort of like this hasn't happened before, so we have to come up with new things.
So how are you feeling about this year in general?
How am I feeling about this year in general? It's kind of like I think expectations are probably lower, honestly, because like there's so much less that we can do, and societies are having to figure out what they can do and what they can't do. And I've heard that some societies just like can't do their normal thing, and so sort of just aren't operating. They're just sort of going on hiatus. Other societies are really good at doing online things. I know esports is basically just an online society, though they did lots of in-person socials, but they revolve around video games, which are intrinsically online, like based around people playing online. So their society hasn't really like been like they've got a much better time of it, I think, compared to some. I think how the year sort of turns out will be based on how well societies adapt and the sort of things that they're able to come up with.
What would you like to do with the role of General Interest Rep this year?
That is a great question. I've thought about it a bit. A good job. I'd like to do a good job is the main thing. So something I know my predecessor was working on was improving communication from the union to societies. And I think this still is sort of an issue. I've had societies come to me and say, like, we need more information, and the union has said, wait, like, we need to figure things out for our socials sooner. And so I feel like there's this sort of area of like information and communication that could be improved. It's kind of hard to come up with sort of improvements for the societies, at least, or like trying to come up with, say, collaborative events, because they're very different and you sort of have to find common ground. But I would like to encourage collaboration between them, because I know that is something that definitely boosts society interest.
Do you have any advice for our new freshers coming in?
Try lots of stuff. Try lots of different stuff. Try lots of stuff and see what works. I went drinking with my flatmates day one of freshers. And at the end of the night, they were like, come out with us again. That was so much fun. And I never went out with them again because I had a really mediocre time. And then I went to like some societies and like joined a choir. I did ballroom dancing and then just dropped it after a year. Just try lots of different stuff. See what works. You'll make friends somewhere if you aren't the kind of person to make friends drinking, that is, I think, sort of the pull of the general interest societies, is you get more people who are less just party and drink. But that is honestly my best piece of advice to freshers is to just try lots of stuff, because there's so much available.
My last question is just, how do people get in touch with you?
How do people get in touch with me? The contact email is luu.generalrep@leeds.ac.uk.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. Apart from like, stay cool.
Is that your sign off? Stay cool. With finger
That's my
guns.
sign off. It's stay cool.
I'm Mike, and this is Pixie, and this is my wife Georgie. Ever since I can remember, I've used that word, I'd suffer from my mental illnesses, and I spent so long trying to find help and knock on my doctor's doors and things like that to understand what it was that was wrong with me. And then my lovely wife Georgie brought home Pixie, who's just another rescue cat that we brought home, but Pixie was a bit special. She'd like to sit on your shoulders and go out with you. So on days where I can't get out of bed and I feel utterly worthless, Pixie gives me purpose. I get to go outside and see parts of Leeds or the country I wouldn't really get to see normally, and I talk to people and get to tell people that it's okay not to be okay. It doesn't matter why you're feeling low. If you feel low, then your feelings are real and you deserve to be supported.
Living with my husband, or for anyone living with a partner, or even just a friend, you know, if it's one of your housemates and they're suffering, it's hard to watch them go through it every day, knowing that what you can do to help is very limited. Being able to bring someone like Pixie into his life is just, it's so heartwarming, because we never really had this intention. We never thought, oh, we'll get a cat and she will be his emotional support animal. But we brought her home. Instantly, you two had such an amazing connection. We already had 2 cats at home, a boy and a girl, both rescues. But these two just like hit it off like nothing I've ever seen before. And like Mike said, she gave him confidence because she was so interested in going outside, and we'll get her out. And the more and more we took her out and the further afield that we went with her, the more we realised how well she did help Mike in his day-to-day life.
Pixie always gets most of the attention, which allows me to just be myself. I've got Pixie on my shoulder, and if people want to talk to us, they're interested in Pixie. They're not interested in me, or the bit that they're interested in is why I've got Pixie, and then that allows us to then talk to people about mental health. I think everyone at some point or another will experience poor mental health, and it's talking to each other that's really important. I've been suicidal, I've attempted to take my own life, and I'm not ashamed to tell people that. It's the surviving I've done afterwards that I'm proud of. I think that's all people just need to hear sometimes. They go, do you know what? You don't know what's wrong, and that's okay, but I'm going to sit here, I'm going to listen, I'm going to be with you while you're feeling like this. And that's what Pixie does. Me and Pixie can't talk to each other, but I can communicate with her better than I can communicate to most people. To feel on your own, you can be in a group of people and still feel completely and utterly lonely and isolated. If you can hear someone like me say, you're not on your own, I feel like this as well, I get it. If you can hear another person say that, what a relief, I'm not a weirdo, I'm not crazy. If you go to a doctor and they send you home with a leaflet or ask you, you know, same, it's happened to me, I've gone to see a GP and they've said, what do you want me to do about it? And you go see another GP, you go see another doctor, you go keep asking for these referrals, you deserve it, you've earned it, go and ask for it, go and get that support, keep banging on the door for support. It's so important, because if I didn't ask for support, I wouldn't be here, you know? And help sometimes doesn't look like what you would think it would be. Sometimes it's just sitting in a room with another person crying. If that's what it looks like, that's what it looks like, you know? But that's the most important thing about World Mental Health Day, about every day, is that you're valid, your feelings are valid, you're important, and you deserve support.
So that was when we caught up with Mike and Pixie the therapy cat. There were some numbers there, and we will be speaking later about Nightline and to some other societies which can help support people who are struggling with their mental health. Freshers. It's the end of Freshers Week, basically, isn't it? It's not Freshers Week, sorry, correct myself. It's the end of Welcome Week now.
When I think about last year, I was like, people were like, oh, your second year Freshers Week is very different. It has been very different, I can give people that.
Yeah.
It's not gone the way I expected to.
No, but you know what, it's positive that stuff is still happening on campus.
Yeah.
Obviously, Common Ground, Terrace and Old Bar, they've all found ways of sort of adapting. So you can still come on and get a bit of the vibe of what it's meant to be like. It's good it's not all online and all virtual.
Well, you do have Virtual Fruit tonight at least.
Oh, we've got...
You know, so you can at least somewhat experience what Fruity is like. You know, you've got to kind of transport yourself.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who don't know, Fruity is the Union Club night, relatively infamous, every Friday. A lot of VKs involved. I mean, it's not my kind of scene.
It's not your kind of scene, no.
But everyone's got to go. It's a rite of passage to get yourself to Fruity at some point, and that definitely will be back in the near future. But for now, tune in later this evening.
See, I do call it the most mediocre night of your life.
It is.
It is, but you can make something really good out of it.
Yeah, as long as you're there with good people.
Yeah, like I went through to see, I think one of my first few weeks has been a fresher, because the first week, obviously it's most club and all that kind of stuff, but the pipe that provides clean water to your toilet burst twice in my hall. And I was in Central Village, so you think...
Oh, very bougie.
I think it was so I moved on the Friday.
Yeah.
And this was the Sunday. And I saw like water coming out, so I thought it was like, oh, I've come out the shower, I've just dripped onto the carpet. So I put a towel on there.
No one wants to know this.
Well, how else does water come
Okay,
out?
no, it's okay.
So I put a towel on there, I come back and the towel's drenched. And I'm like, how does a towel get more wet?
I don't know. I don't know. Explain it.
And then I go back, I kind of leave, I come back, and then it's just like, all of a sudden, it's just like gone to halfway across my room.
Okay.
Quite close to where I had like my computer and all of that kind of stuff. So I was like, oh my God. I ran down to like the reception and I was like, what can you do to help? So they had to close off my water supply, and they gave me like these fans that like stay onto the floor to like suck up the
Like
humidity.
dehumidifiers.
But also to suck up all the
damp.
damp.
And the water.
And I thought that was it on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Someone came to fix it. Tuesday the next day, or Tuesday that day, happened again. And it happened at a much
tragedy.
quicker pace. 11 o'clock at night.
Was it just in your room as well? So you're the only person
Yes,
affected?
it was. But actually, when I went away in December,
Yeah.
my flatmate had some work done to her shower, and they left it on. So she was to the left of me in room 3. I luckily didn't get any damage, but rooms 2 and 1 got flooded. Standing water above the carpet.
Yeah, that's not ideal, is it?
No.
I really hope no freshers are having to go through that right now.
That'd be the worst.
If you are, do let us know your tragic freshers welcome week tales, because we'd love to hear about them.
Well, you think about, like, I've been looking online, it's like, where you have to self-isolate, you can't obviously go out of your flat in your student accommodation to, like, wash your clothes.
I've been wondering this.
They do it in the bath. But in, like, Central Village, you don't have a bath, so you can do it like the small sink.
Surely, though, must be accommodating people being able to wash their clothes.
I don't know.
Oh.
What about food?
What about food? Well, the refectory's open.
No, but you can't, you're self-isolating.
If you say, oh gosh.
That's what I mean. It's
You
don't have support networks there, do you?
You could just have to ask your friends to help you.
That's true, but you've only been here for a week.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one of the worst bits. If you're a fresher who's not great with their flat,
You're just going to have to put yourself out there, aren't you?
You are.
A little bit.
But
I just hope none of them have to.
It's like a baptism of fire in a way.
It's a baptism.
Well, like you've like been thrown
Welcome
into
to
the deep
Leeds.
end.
It's a baptism of fire.
You've been thrown into the
Baptism
deep-
of fire.
Yes,
Yeah.
you've been thrown into the deep end.
You are. But you know what? There are a lot of people who are going through it together.
Yeah.
You're all in the same boat, which is what everyone always says. But it kind of, I don't know
bonds
if
you
that's
together,
reassuring
yeah.
or not, to be honest.
No, sounds. You know, hopefully
Yeah.
we get back to normal.
We'll get back to normal, absolutely.
Just
We don't know when.
we don't know when. But speaking of freshers, obviously they moved in last week, so
They did.
Adam and a few others went down to some of the accommodations to see what was going on.
Welcome back to Leeds Student Television. It's moving in weekend 2020, and though it's not like one we've seen before, let's see how everyone's feeling.
It only felt like yesterday.
Central Village, one of the university's biggest accommodations here just by campus. Nearly 1,000 students are going to be moving here over the next few days for the crazy year ahead.
What are you most excited for freshers?
Meeting people on our courses as well.
Yeah, that'd be nice, because we have to Zoom with them now.
Yeah.
We're at Charles Morris. Let's speak to freshers.
So I'm quite nervous, honestly, but when I'm nervous I talk more, and I think that's a good thing. I went to uni in America last year and had to share all my bathroom and stuff like that, and I was like, I ain't having that this year. So I got my own shower.
All the time when you leave me, no reply 'cause you can.
I'm excited. Obviously, I'm a bit disappointed that it's, in these circumstances. But yeah, I'm excited. And if you could choose one person to be like your dream flatmate, who would it be?
Flatmate, Gemma Collins. I'm sorry, that was the first thing that came into my head.
My dream flatmate. I don't know.
I think she's an absolute queen, a queen of Essex, and I'd love to meet her one day.
Maybe like a professional chef, so he can cook for me and do all the hard bits.
We're with student ambassador Janet here now.
It's been a little chaotic, kind of different. I think obviously with COVID and everything, we've had a lot of different measurements in place, like hand sanitizers, social distancing. But people have been really cheerful and quite excited to move in, so it's been positive.
We're here at Henry Price on moving day. There's not anyone around at the minute, but I'm sure we'll find some freshers. I'm excited,
comfortable.
Yeah, I feel quite comfortable as well.
Helping out with the meet and greet, showing students where to go, what block they're in, giving them guidance and support on, moving in and whatnot.
And if you could describe your moving in day in 3 words, what would it be?
I think it's been quite relaxed, which I'm quite actually surprised by. Apart from those two, yeah, they're a bit stressed.
Excited, nervous, and in anticipation.
I'm going.
You don't have to do this.
I'm not staying here anymore just because of you.
Am I not good enough for you?
That's not what I meant.
That's what you just said though.
No, look, we've been through this. I'm not doing this again.
Why now? What's changed?
No, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm not. No.
Can't just walk away from
I'm
me.
not doing this.
Remember those walls I built? Baby, they were tumbling down. They didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make up a sound. I found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo, I got my angel now. It's like I've been a weekend. Every rule I had you breaking is the risk that I'm taking. I ain't never gonna shut you out. Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. You know you're my saving grace. You're everything I need and more. It's written all over your face. Baby, I can feel your halo. Pray you won't fade away. Hit me like a ray of sun, burning through my darkest night. You're the only one that I want. Think I'm addicted to your light. I swore I'd never fall again, but this don't even feel like falling. Gravity can't forget to pull me back to the ground again. It's like I've been a weekend. Every rule I had you breaking, the risks that I'm taking. I'm never gonna shut you out. Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. You know you're my saving grace. You're everything I need and more. It's written all over your face. Baby, I can see your halo. Pray you won't fade away. I can feel your halo. I can see your halo. I can feel your halo. I can see your halo. I can feel your halo. I can see your halo. I can feel your halo. I can see your halo.
They call us the change makers, the mould breakers, the innovators and the risk takers. We're the students with a drive through social enterprise to build a world that thrives and impact thousands of lives. We're the future business leaders, showing the world why they need us, making our graduate futures side by side with our supporters. We're in this boat together, post-grads right through to freshers. The friends you make at uni are your family, forever. In universities across the land, we're there to give a helping hand. To make our community stronger, we won't sit back any longer. Our future is what we make it, so join us to create it. With a head for business and a heart for the world, we are Enactors. Are you?
but we're also part of like a much greater organisation. So colleges, universities across UK, like globally, have Enactus teams. But essentially, do you want me to explain like a bit what a social enterprise is?
I think that would be really useful, yeah.
So it's essentially just like a business that has a social aim or aims to do good within society, and all profits that we make are used to fund our social enterprises and our projects. So for us, Enactus Leeds, we have 2 projects that we do. So we have Revive, so we basically go into schools and resell surplus food to families and children in low-income areas at like a pay-as-you-feel rate. And then we also have another project called Green Leaders, so we're looking to go into schools and teach kids like employability skills. So they're the 2 projects that we have at the moment. Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
It does.
It does.
Enactus sounds really cool. Like, well, you just hear the name Enactus and you're like, what is this?
It sounds cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds cool and also like a bit intimidating. It's like, oh, Enactus, like, does it need to be, I don't know, like, can anyone join? And like, you don't need any specific degrees. It's open to everyone.
Yeah, literally anyone can join. Generally speaking, we tend to attract a lot of like business students, but realistically, we want anyone from any degree because that makes it so much more interesting.
Yeah.
I think if you have a passion for business or head for business, but you also care about people, then yeah, it's a society for you, I think.
Sounds so
wonderful. And I'm not going to lie, I had a little look at your social media, but I saw something called the National Expo, and that sounded like really exciting. Can you just explain what it is?
Yeah, sure. So we have a competition each year, so where different teams from across the UK generally come together and like talk and present their ideas and the projects that they have. And it's a bit of a competition in a way. So we do that every year. But yeah, it's just a great way to kind of network with other teams across England. And yeah.
That sounds really cool. And obviously, coronavirus is a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to what's the sort of difference between how you normally would function and how you're able to adapt for this year?
So typically speaking, we would have like weekly meetings within our teams, but this year we're going to do a lot of that virtually. So for Microsoft Teams, we'll have to have virtual meetings. And then in terms of our projects, so with Revive, we're still hoping to go into schools if we can, but obviously that's very like corona dependent. But then with Green Leaders, we're hoping to deliver our training virtually. So because we are part of a much greater organisation, we have a lot of sponsors and we partner with larger companies, so anything from Enterprise Rent-A-Car to Asda to Amazon sponsor us. So we're looking to kind of get in touch with these companies and see if they have any sort of unused laptops or computers that they haven't been using during Corona, and then we can potentially take those into schools to deliver our teaching virtually, if that makes sense.
That does make
Brilliant.
sense.
Yeah. And obviously you're speaking about companies get in touch with you. How do the people watching get in touch with yourselves on social media?
Yeah, sure. So we have Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn. I'd recommend using our Instagram and Facebook for more like, just to keep more regular up-to-dated. But we do also have a website, like you mentioned before, which is just www.enactusleeds.org. So yeah, just send us a message or just follow us. And you can also find us on the LEU website. So
yeah.
Perfect. Sounds really great.
That does sound really great.
I'm enjoying now.
I know, I feel inspired, you know? It sounds like, yeah, because it seems like you sort of do so much work with the like local communities and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very much like schools and stuff based in Leeds, which are really close and easy to get to and stuff?
Definitely. But we also have an innovation team. So say you're just a student and you have like an idea for something you want to start yourself, then you can just come along and we'll give you the resources to do that. So we're always looking to start new projects. Yeah, I know. It's quite exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, so you say it's a small society at the moment.
Society, yeah.
Why do you think it's worth new students getting involved? Like, what are your biggest selling points?
Well, there are so many reasons. Like, so if you're interested in business and enterprise, then naturally it's probably something you're going to be drawn to. But also, if you're interested in sustainability and the environment and helping people, in terms of networking with other like-minded students or even these larger companies, we can offer our members great like exclusive opportunities purely for Enactus members. It looks great in your CV. Like there's so much, honestly, that you can do.
Wow.
Yeah. I should mention as well, I've been told to mention we have a Give It a Go on the 6th of October as well. So for anyone who's interested, they can come along to that.
And what is your Give It a Go going to entail? Do you know yet, or is that still in the works?
Still in the works.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be delivered virtually, obviously, this year, so it's going to be a bit different, but we're still hoping to make it quite interactive.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
There's so much to it as well. Like, you've obviously got all the great business skills you can develop, but also you feel like, obviously, with business, you are definitely making a difference within the community, especially right now. That is really important.
Exactly.
And I think, you know, freshers and also just general people really want to help other people, and they're quite drawn to that, which I think is really great to see.
And that's the thing, I think a lot of societies at uni right now are a bit nervous because of Corona and stuff, and because a lot of what we do is going to have to be done virtually. But in the same sense, it's also quite exciting because it gives us a lot more opportunities. So for example, with our like partners and our organisations that we work with, typically speaking, we wouldn't be able to have someone, say, from Asda or Amazon come into uni to deliver a training session in person. But to do that through Zoom is so much more easier.
Yeah,
so it kind of gives us more opportunities in that sense.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, you sort of got to spin the bad situation on its head, really.
Exactly.
Perfect. Well, considering we've had a wonderful conversation with you about Enactus,
Thank you.
let's have another look at that promo we saw.
Enactus students are over 70,000 strong, spread across 36 countries, working on nearly 5,000 projects annually. That's over 5 million volunteer hours, impacting the lives of nearly 2 million people, helping to achieve the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. In an impoverished district of Johannesburg, South Africa, students have implemented an ingenious system for providing hot water for families. Up until now, many homes have heated water by creating potentially dangerous fires in their homes. The solution the Enactus students are using involves creating solar geysers from discarded materials, literally turning waste into water, and a new business opportunity for this community. Enactus students from Mexico have started a company that turns discarded vinyl signs into opportunity for local families. This same vinyl that was once being discarded and sent to the landfill is now being washed, cut, and repurposed into stylish consumer goods, providing a livelihood and new social enterprise for local families. After learning that over 80% of a mattress's materials are recyclable, a group of Enactus students from Nashville have partnered with a community organization to develop a mattress recycling facility. The business provides sustainable employment for the homeless and formerly incarcerated people, and has processed more than 10,000 mattresses and recycled more than 350,000 pounds of metal, foam, and cotton. These stories came from the hard work and dedication of Enactus students across the globe. Every Enactus program follows the same 5-phase approach. Each program recruits students and engages university staff, business advisors, and team leaders. We help students realize their potential through the use of training, open dialogue, and leadership events. Teams gather insight and assess needs to ensure their projects have maximum impact at home and around the world. Students use their skills in business and entrepreneurship to improve the human condition and enable sustainable change. At national and world events, Enactus teams show off their work and share ideas with one another while connecting with global business leaders. Once a year, the most innovative and influential projects from around the globe are put on display at the Enactus World Cup. A national champion Enactus team from each of the 36 countries compete by presenting their most compelling projects on stage in dynamic 17-minute presentations. For the past 15 years, Enactus World Cup has been hosted around the globe and has always focused on 3 areas. Just like in business, we believe competition leads to the best results and the most creativity. World Cup brings students together like nothing else, as teams compete to share their most impactful and insightful innovations. Students have the chance to challenge the status quo of thought leaders and enjoy a curated, interactive dialogue with global business leaders on sustainable change. Students and business leaders celebrate the diversity of culture, an abundance of ideas, and cross-generational leadership in action. Through business innovation and social enterprise, Enactus students and business executives around the world are working to accomplish the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. This is business innovation for sustainable solutions. This is entrepreneurial action for a better world. And this is your invitation to take action. When you invest in Enactus, you help to instill in students the values of social responsibility, integrity, and innovation. You align yourself with a global network of top student, business, and academic leaders. You invest in the idea that when we compete to improve lives in a sustainable way, we all win. When you invest in Enactus, you invest in a better world for us all.
For Enactus there, but now we're joined by another society Music impacts in the community.
Yes.
Welcome, Emily.
Thank you
Welcome to
very
this show. Do you just want to give a brief description of what your society
Yeah,
entails?
so I'm from LUMIC, so it's the nice abbreviated version of Music Impact in the Community. It's a bit of a mouthful. But we are part of the volunteering section, so we're a free society, and we run community music projects in and around Leeds. So we work with care homes, schools, refugee groups, groups with young people with additional needs, all that sort of stuff. And we just take our volunteers and we train them in how to do the sessions, and we take them and do projects.
Oh, wow.
Normally.
So what do the projects entail? I'm guessing it obviously revolves around music. But
Yes,
So what do you do in the schools and places like that?
It really depends. Community music is all about just kind of group music making, promoting mental health and well-being. So with schools we do a lot of music lessons. With care homes we do performances, musical bingo sessions, sing-along activities. With refugees it's all about kind of helping them develop their language skills and just becoming like a group, and it's kind of a whole social activity.
Okay, and I know obviously like music does have a big impact, like especially in care homes, especially those with dementia. Music can help those not suffer as bad with it, and it's really exciting to see what you can do. So what? So obviously you like music bingo. Do you bring like instruments with you?
Yes, so it's a lot of different stuff. Normally, like not with COVID, we would if it was a musical bingo session, we often just play music from the eras when they were young, and there's a lot of studies into music and psychology, into the fact that music can trigger memories and it can help with dementia and that sort of thing. And there's a whole, we're a group of students that just really emphasise music and well-being and the power of music. A lot of our students are music or music psychology students like I am, but it's a really nice environment because there's a lot of other students. Like we had a zoology student on our committee last year, and we always try and have a non-music student on the committee to kind of show everyone that it's a committee, it's a society for everyone, and you can be a musician or you could just enjoy volunteering and you can get involved in a different way. So we don't say you have to have like a grade 8 clarinet or anything. You can stand at the back and clap. There's helpful, like you can be helpful with whatever musical experience.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I failed my grade 1 guitar, so I don't think I'd be much use to you. I can play the EastEnders theme tune really slowly.
I'm sure we'll find a place.
Yeah,
So-
get out of the triangle.
Yeah, of course. So obviously with COVID and mental health and moving online, how is LUMIC evolving in that situation?
So we're really lucky actually, because I think in kind of a time where a lot of societies are having to either stop or really change what they're doing, we're just adapting, and it's kind of given us an opportunity to expand what we do. We're able to do more than we would before. So we've been working as a committee this summer and digitalising our content and planning so that we can get volunteers to help us create musical resources, whether it's bingo sessions or asking people to send in performances so we can put together digital concerts, and helping us plan lesson plans, then we can send it to schools and care homes. And actually, rather than being able to do a care home performance per week, we can make one concert and send it to 10 care homes. So actually we're able to bring music to far more people than we normally would in a time where people need it more than they would anyway.
So
I'm feeling so inspired right now. This is like, so
cool.
I'm a bit biased, but it's great.
Yeah, no, but, like you're really selling it. And it's that thing of it's accessible for new freshers to get involved, and it's also accessible for the wider community to like appreciate and respond to what you're doing.
So like it's a really unique opportunity where we can really help the community in a time where actually a lot of people can't. Like we can't go to the refugee groups, but we can provide them with musical activities and stuff. We can help out schools where teachers are stretched too thin at the moment and they aren't allowed music time in their curriculum. There just isn't enough time right now, so we can help out. And volunteers can get involved in all of that, but also my priority this year as president is kind of emphasising our student community and our well-being and mental health. So there's a lot of promotion this year in our prioritising in our society of doing member events and like well-being workshops and stuff, and kind of we're doing a whole Wellbeing Wednesday scheme where every fortnight we have a social or an event which is based on promoting our own members' well-being and mental health and stuff. And then the other week we are working on like an education side of it. So we're having a lecture series proposed, and we're inviting music therapists and community musicians and other musical professionals, and inviting them to kind of help just talk about what they do and kind of inspire people and like graduates and help with like graduate stress and stuff.
So it seems like you obviously help those out in the community in Leeds, but also those of your members as well, which is really exciting to see. do you have to pay to join the society?
No, it's completely free because it's a volunteering society. So it's the sort of thing where you have to pay for the membership on the website, but it's a bit of a faff, but it's fine. And then you just join the Facebook group that we have for our members, and then you just get all the invitations and stuff to all of our events and socials and projects and stuff.
And I guess that means it's also quite ad hoc, and like you can sort of just join as and when and get involved when you can fit it into your own schedule.
So we tend to have, we've had for the past 5 or so years, like over 100 people just in the group ready to get involved as and when they want. And then if people want to be involved every week, they can, or they can just do one event if that's really interests them, and then they can leave it and just be interested for the rest of the year and see what we do.
So, speaking of social media, how can freshers find you online?
So we have our Instagram and our Twitter. Our Instagram's our main thing at the moment this year, so that's both at Lumic, so which is LUUMIC, and then we have a Facebook page which is LUU Music Impact in the Community, and that's kind of our publicity Facebook page. But if they want to get involved, it's a Facebook group which is Lumic Members 2020-21. But yeah.
I'm sold.
I'm going to have to get the guitar out again.
We've got 2 ukuleles in our office, so maybe we can find someone who can put them to good use.
Yeah, we can't do a lot of singing this year, but in terms of like we do a lot of body percussion and just a lot of stuff, so you don't even have to have anything in your house, like instrument-wise.
Oh, that's really good.
Everyone can get involved and do whatever they want.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, and I guess that's sort of just you saying. So what has been like the most worthwhile? Like, what is your main selling point? Like for you personally, what have you gained from it the most?
In terms of experience, so I'm an aspiring music therapist, so it's like it's what I want to do, and it's kind of given me the ability to do that without having to do all the qualifications and stuff. Yeah, but it's just honestly going to a care home and like performing or just giving music and being in that space with those people is just so rewarding, and you come out and like you can't not have a smile on your face. And everyone who's in the group and in the society is just so like-minded and just so nice because they're willing to give their time to help other people. So it's just such a lovely little family atmosphere, and it's just really nice to get involved with.
It sounds so rewarding, and like, you can tell how much it means to you and everyone else. It's so lovely to see.
For sure. Well, considering we've obviously had a wonderful conversation with you about Lumic, let's watch a video about Lumic itself.
Lumic stands for Leeds University Union Music Impact in the Community. We are a student-led community music society working in and around Leeds, running music workshops, projects and sessions led by our amazing volunteers.
But what is community music?
Community music aims to bring people together. This involves working with varying social groups and using music to promote well-being and enrich people's lives. The musical activities we use include things such as group music making, interactive concerts, and musical themed games. These are just a few ways we can promote positive well-being and mental health in the community. Groups we work with include primary schools, care homes, refugee and asylum seeker support groups, and those for young people with additional needs.
Hi, I'm Emily and I'm the president of Lumic this year. I'm a third year music and music psychology student and a first study cellist. Being a part of Lumic and creating music with different charities and organisations has always been the best part of uni for me, but my concern this year is the mental health and wellbeing of our own student community. My number one priority is ensuring our members feel supported through musical and non-musical activities and socials. I can't wait to meet you all and get to know every one of you.
Hey everyone, I'm Mindy, the new secretary for Lumic this year. I play the violin and I am going into my second year music and music psychology. Music has always brought me so much joy and relaxation to my life, and I can't wait to share that with all of you.
Hello, I'm Jake. I'm treasurer for Lumic this year. I'm a third year music psychology student and I play the clarinet, but I'm much more a music enjoyer than I am a performer. So I am so ready to enjoy music, to make music, to be music with the whole Lumic family this year.
Hi everyone, my name's Sophie and I'm your marketing and publicity coordinator for this year. I'm going into my third year of studying music and music psychology just after completing my year in industry. As an aspiring music therapist, Lumic has always been the highlight of my university experience, and I can't wait to get back out there with all of you guys this year and bring music to those who really need it, especially during these crazy times.
Hello, I'm Elise and I'm your events coordinator for this year. I'm a keen vocalist and I'm going into my third year of studying music. Although I adore performing, there is a more rewarding element of bringing our talents into the community. The smiles and laughs we bring into different charities such as MenCamp has an unbeatable feeling and one that I hope can be excelled this year, particularly with all the challenges we've all faced. Lumic is a community that brings diversity and different abilities together, creating an all-round enjoyable experience for everyone. So come and join us and you can find out.
Lumic stands for community, and we really mean that. As a Lumic volunteer, you'll not only be helping bring music into the Leeds community, but you'll be a part of the Lumic family. This year especially, it's so important to keep making music together.
As a Lumic volunteer, as well as working on community projects, you can get involved with all our workshops and socials. Many of these will focus on how you can use music for your well-being, as well as using it to help others. We are a volunteer society, so membership is completely free.
And don't forget, you don't have to be a musician to volunteer with us. So, if you love listening to or making music just as much as we do, don't hesitate to join us. Head over to the LUU website where you can grab your membership and find out even more about us. You can stay up to date with all we do on our socials, so go and follow us on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, @Lumic. We also have a members Facebook group, so go join us over there for exclusive updates on projects and opportunities. From all of us at Lumic, thank you for listening, and we really hope to see you volunteer with us this year.
So that was another promotion of Lumic, the Music Impact and Community Society. So do check them out. Were very inspiring. But now we are joined by Liz, who is from the Japanese Society. So welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
I guess just start off by saying, it feels self-explanatory, but for those who don't know, what is Japanese Society? What do you do?
So we're a culture society. We're focused on culture exchange between the UK and Japan, but we are mainly focused on the social aspect. So we run lots of social events, and it's just a way for people to meet and interact with each other, really.
All right. So obviously there's if I think of Japanese socials, you think of karaoke, stuff like that. What other socials do you hold?
So normally we hold a weekly pub social and a cookie tokocha, which is the afternoon tea, but unfortunately we can't hold these this year. So we're planning a weekly online film viewing of some avant-garde Japanese films with some discussion involved. We are trying to set up a pen pal system, the old-fashioned way of communication to get people connected. And we're just trying to find do cooking sort of tutorials and stuff like that for Japanese food. So lots of different ways to get involved.
So just trying to move all your social stuff and build that community online, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
And I presume you don't have to be from Japan or have Japanese heritage to get involved with the Japanese Society.
Yeah, no, we're very inclusive. Whether you're from Japan or you study Japanese or you're just interested in Japanese culture, we welcome everyone. The more the merrier. So yeah.
That sounds like so much fun.
Wow, I know, because my thing is I'm not slightly interested in Japanese culture, but is it quite intimidating? I'm trying to get my words right. Is it quite? I can't say the words.
Intimidating
for someone who doesn't know that much about Japanese culture to join your society, or are you quite welcome in that sense?
I like to think we're very welcoming. We've got a mixture of people, different levels of interest, and we're always looking out for different events people can get involved with, whether it's through us or through external organisations. One thing that's good about the pandemic is a lot of stuff is online, so you can access it for free from your home. So there's lots of information out there, and we've got for the first time a society-wide group chat, so you can connect with other students. So it's really lovely. Yeah.
And so is that probably the best way if students are interested in getting involved? Is it what are your social medias? Is it joining this group chat? What's the best way to actually get get involved?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page and an Instagram account, so you can follow those. And then if you want to be more involved, like you can join the group chat. And we post like regularly, like multiple times a week, events we run and like just information and things you can get involved with. So.
Sure. I mean, I'm just interested, like how did you come to uni knowing that you wanted to be involved in the Japanese society, or how did you sort of get into it from your own personal perspective?
So I studied Japanese as my degree, and I wasn't really up to being a society, like a committee member. It's quite daunting for me, but as I got to my final year, I was just like, yeah, I'll just go for it, and I just wanted to be involved because I've had so many good memories being part of the Japanese society, and so I just wanted to continue that on for other people as well.
Wow. And what is your favourite part of Japanese culture? Because there's so much to it. Like, there's so much that I can't, like, you've got manga, I'm just thinking you've got all the anime films, you've got so much there. What is, like, when you look and go, wow, I love that about Japanese culture?
I'm personally really interested in like the traditional culture. Like I'm a bit of like a history buff. Like I'm obsessed with history, and I love when I was in Japan, I took like tea ceremony classes and like the flower arrangement classes, and I love the different aesthetics and styles that go with that, and just like the kind of the way of thinking as well. I just find it really attractive and really interesting.
Wow.
So I see stuff like online, like in Kyoto, you look at all the old tea ceremonies and you've got the people all dressed up in traditional clothing, and it's quite interesting how you have a country that is so traditional but also so modern at the same time. It's just such a different place to like the UK, for example, I'd say. There is just so much to Japan and Japanese culture. So you said you've been to Japan. How many times have you been? How is it? How is Japan itself?
That's a difficult question. So I've only been once for my year abroad, which is a compulsory part of the degree. And it's very different from what you would expect. I was in the more rural part of Japan, so unlike Tokyo, where like you've got like the Shinkansen, the bullet trains, and like you've got robots, it was very rural. It was like lots of rice fields and like mountains, which I really liked because you get to see the traditional cultural side. It's a different side of Japan, really. But yeah, it's interesting to see that mix of the old and the new, and each area in Japan is very different from the next one, so you can travel around and feel like you're going to a completely different place. It's all very different. It's an exciting place to be, I think.
Wow. Yeah, it definitely inspired me for a visit.
I'm definitely interested in a visit.
I mean, when everything's safe.
When everything's safe, but it's just such. I think
it's so interesting and diverse.
Well, you think about like places on your bucket list, and Japan's definitely one for me, just because like it's just so.
So much going on.
Yeah, there is.
It's
like
so different.
You think of like all like the trains and everyone like squishes in and everything's on time. It's just
everything's on. But yeah, I mean, do you know is there a big sort of Japanese international like student population in Leeds, or I don't know whether there are as many this year or not.
Yeah, normally we do have quite a few exchange students, just because we've got like that exchange program, because us studying Japanese, we go to Japan, so it's like a mutual agreement. And then there are some full-time Japanese students here as well. I think this year we are not going to have that many exchange students. People are doing like a virtual year abroad.
Oh, okay.
And it's the same for students who study Japanese here as well. Like they'll be taking online classes, but in England, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah.
But join Japanese society to sort of help build that sense of community, I guess.
Yeah, because everything's online now, so we can reach more people. We can even reach students who were here last year, who've gone back to Japan, and people who've moved on, who've graduated. So it's exciting, all the prospects that we have now. Everything is online.
Speaking about online, where can we find you on social media then?
So we've got Instagram, which is at LUU Japanese, and then our Facebook page is Leeds University Union Japanese Society. Yes, you can find
that sounds amazing.
Definitely going to be having a look after the show to see
Yeah.
what's on there. So after that interview with Japanese Society, we've now got a promo for Surf Society. Have a look.
Oh, well, it's early in the morning and it's time to make a start. And I put my poly surfboard on the rack upon my car. I head down to the surfside where the waves are breaking fine. I'm gonna catch a mountain, but I won't go down the mine. You gotta walk the plank, ride the hook, Corner left and right and keep it nice and tight. And now the time is drawing near. You're moving down the wall. Now steady as she goes. You got your toes upon the nose. And now you're hanging by, hanging by, hanging by. Lines upon the Malibu. And now you've hit the beach and you're feeling mighty fine. You turn your boat around for the second time. You make it out the back. Swells are coming fast. The first ones are too small, and so you take the last. You gotta walk the plank, ride the hook, corner left and right, and keep it nice and tight. And now the time is drawing near. You're moving down the wall. Now steady as she goes. You got your toes up on the nose, and now you're hanging by, hanging by, hanging by. Toes upon the Malibu. Let's stop. When the day is over and all the circuits meet, you go down to the surf club to dance and stomp and beat. And when the night is through, you hear the fellas say, don't forget tomorrow, you got another day. You gotta walk the plank, ride the hook, corner left and right, and keep it nice and tight. And now the time is drawing near. You're moving down the wall. Now steady as she goes. You got your toes up on the nose, and now you're hanging by, hanging by, hanging by. Toes upon the Malibu, up on the Malibu. You know you gotta walk the plank, Frank. Get your toes right up on that nose, Sarah Joe. And don't forget, Frank, watch that bushy, bushy blonde hair.
Well, that was a little promotional video for Surf Society. We're now joined with James from Surf Society. I mean, if that video didn't sort of entice you enough, I mean, obviously Surf Society is quite self-explanatory. What kind of things do you do? How do you normally work?
Yeah, so it's not what you'd expect from a landlocked city of Leeds, but weirdly we're one of the biggest surf clubs in the country.
Wow.
What we usually do is we'll take people down to Scarborough, which is about an hour and a half east of here, take them to the beach up there, and it's not what people think of, but the waves are actually some of the best you get in the UK. It does get cold towards the winter, but we wear the suits to wrap up, and yeah, we just try and take people, anything from beginner, intermediate, advanced, anyone's welcome. So yeah, that's the premise.
Cool.
Wow, like I've never surfed before, so if a beginner turned up, doesn't even know how a surfboard works basically, can you like guide them along and teach them basically how to go from like a beginner to somewhat all right at surfing then?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's the sort of the goal of uni societies, is like to teach people that are new. Honestly, if I'm being honest, like 80% of our club are still in that beginner stage. There's not really any expert surfers. So people always say to me, they're like, oh, I don't know how to surf. Can I come and join Surf Society? Which definitely should, because most people are at that level. So it's a great place for everyone to learn. And on the trips, like you see there, everyone's just getting in the water together, learning on those big long boards. And yeah, we teach you like that.
Wow.
It looks like so much fun.
It does sound like so much fun.
I mean, obviously, given the whole Corona situation, are you guys still able to sort of go and surf in smaller groups, or are you sort of trying to make things online? How's it working for you guys?
So the plan current at the moment is we're still taking groups of 6 out.
Nice.
Luckily, Surfing England actually allowed groups of 9, which is like our regulator, so we can push it to that, but then obviously we have to go in separate cars.
Yeah.
We're still trying to give it a go going though, later in the semester, which should be fun. We're just going to have to do it in separate groups at separate time slots throughout the day.
Wow.
But we're still going to push to get as many people in the water as we can, albeit separated.
That sounds really cool.
And obviously you have them trips that we showed on the VT there. Obviously they can't happen right now, but obviously you look at a trip and you go to places like Morocco, Spain, Portugal. Is it quite expensive for students, or is it quite reasonable to come along?
It can be. That is the issue with the international trips, they can be. We try and keep them as low as possible. We book hostels to try and get everyone in, to keep the cost down. Flights we tend to book ourselves as well. But we try and keep the cost as low as we can, and people tend to save throughout the year to do one of the trips. So, yeah.
Nice.
So normally how many trips do you have per a year then?
So in your normal year, we'd have Bucks in October, which is like a long weekend with all the surf clubs in the UK all competing together, which is honestly great fun. Then we do our Morocco trip, usually in Christmas time, which is great. We do a Portugal trip in Easter, and then we sometimes do a festival type thing over that Easter period as well, or something in the summer. Looking at this year, we're not quite sure how it's going to run, but we're holding hope for 6 months' time that Easter trip's going to be on to Portugal, and then we're thinking about filling our Christmas trip instead with a summer trip, possibly to like France or somewhere, to cover that Christmas trip if it doesn't happen.
Wow, so there's a lot going on there. In terms of socials as well, how are they going to happen? Are they going to be online? Are you going to kind of combine them when you go in the groups of 9, as you say, on surf trips? How are they going to take place?
Yeah, we're looking at that at the moment. We still haven't really made the call on it. I suppose it depends whether Leeds does go into this full lockdown. I feel like a lot of people are very bored of the whole Zoom type thing, so we're a little bit wary of doing that. But we've got some stuff planned for groups of 6, like we're thinking of doing like a come dine with me type thing. We're also thinking like doing a sort of first dates thing within society. We're going to call it Stay Afloat, Control the Virus. So fun things we can do in smaller groups. If
That
it
does sound
mean
really
that.
fun.
Fun. Yeah, imagine that, go on surf club and then end up going on like a first dates thing. I would never think of that.
No, best of both, isn't it, really? So I guess, what's the best way for freshers to actually get involved with you guys this year? Like, how can they find you and reach out to you?
Honestly, what I'd say is just message the page. We work everything, I should say this to freshers in general, like everything at uni works through Facebook. So just get on Facebook, message us on there, and then we can tell you what we're doing. So that's the best way.
Great. I guess from your own personal perspective, like what is your favourite thing about Leeds Surf? Like what's your biggest selling points?
What I really like is when I came to uni, I didn't really get on with my flat as much in my first year, so it was a great outlet for me. And what I love about surf trips is we always cap it at 50, 60. So you can go on a trip knowing no one, and you come away having 60 like best mates, which is what we love about it. So we try and keep it tight, not like the huge snow riders trips. So when you come away, you actually have some really close friends, and it tends to be quite a close-knit society because of that.
Wow, so that's lovely. So that's great for freshers right now who are like kind of struggling to make friends, obviously a bit locked up in their halls. So Surf Society, you say, is like one of the best ways they can make a good set of friends then?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're a surfer, it's great, obviously, but also if you just want to get involved in that kind of culture, that's what we hear from a lot of people coming down. They're almost not as fussed about the surfing aspect of it. They just like the idea of that kind of culture and want to get involved. And we're more than welcome to happy to have anyone along.
Wow. Perfect. And did you do a lot of surfing before you came to uni, or was it something you kind of decided you thought you'd try and pick up?
Yeah, so I'm actually from like the South London, Surrey area, which obviously makes no sense being a surfer. But I was lucky because my dad was a surfer before me, so he got me into it. He's not what you'd think of as a surfer because he's about 60 years old with no hair, but he was good back in his day, so that's how I originally got
But then anyone could be a surfer, can't they? Freshers, anybody could be a surfer nowadays. That's really exciting. Like, I've seen the trips online and I'm like really jealous because they look like so much fun, especially during Christmas time when you're stuck at home.
Yeah.
You see you see some of your mates on a surf trip. Yeah. Really warm in the water, so I'm really jealous.
Yeah, it looks sick, doesn't it?
It does. Maybe I have to take it up.
Maybe. There are so many societies that have come today and I'm like, I should take that up.
I think I'd be fine on a surfboard.
I mean, how difficult is it to surf? How do you find it? I mean, obviously you have more experience. How long, can people progress relatively quite quickly, through the whole time of being involved while they're at uni?
Yeah, what I always say is when you're starting, to be able to stand up is fairly easy. I'm pretty confident I could get anyone to stand up within one session. It's moving from that stage where you're standing up on a board going straight to actually being able to make turns and maneuvers on the wave. That's going to take your time.
For sure.
But in terms of just getting on a board and standing up, super easy. Can get you done in one session.
Sounds like so much fun.
It does. I have to give it a try.
Yeah, we'll do.
Really good. But yeah, speaking of surf, we're now going to go back to Wednesday's show, and we've got an interview with My Matters. Have a watch.
So that was K-pop live at the Rileys last year. So a bit of a change in mood now, but we're going to be talking to Yaz from Mind Matters. Hi Yaz, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, doing really well. So how's preparation been going so far for coming back after everything in preparation for Welcome Week?
Yeah, so it's definitely been different given the current situation. However, we just want to put our message to that we're here for everyone and we understand how isolating uni can be, especially at this time where a lot of students aren't going into halls, they'll be in their home, and My Matters is there for all of that. So, yeah, we're there for everyone really.
So, how does the society function? So if you join, what does that entail?
So we normally provide peer support groups, so that way people can rant to us, they can vent, whatever they need to do. It's a support group that are run by trained volunteers. We also have our educational visits, which hopefully we'll go through at some point later in the year given the current climate. But what that is basically we go to schools and talk about mental health. We also run our socials, so we do a lot of art therapy, we do a lot of events around mental well-being and how we can make sure that our mental well-being is positive throughout the entire thing. And then we're also hoping to really push on our socials, so we're going to start a blog about our mental well-being, and we've also got Instagram and Facebook where followers members of the Mind Matters Society can actually follow us. It's got lots of tips on how to make sure that our mental well-being is really good throughout the academic year.
Oh, that's amazing. What would you say the #1 piece of advice you'd give to people moving to Leeds and who are going to be new first years would be?
That it's okay not to feel okay. They're going, like, even as a fresher myself, like, freshers doesn't have to be this amazing time. If you're struggling, it's completely normal. You're going through a drastic change in your life. And if you need support, just get support.
And if people did want to reach out to you to join in, then what are your socials and how can they get involved practically?
So we will post our socials regularly on our socials. At the moment, they're going to be virtual due to the current situation. But and we're hoping also to have like a weekly newsletter where members of our society will be up to date with what socials we'll be having.
Okay, that's amazing. Well, thanks for speaking to us. Here is some promotional footage of Nightline, a service that provides help for people during the evening. Here, take a look.
So today we're here at Jiu-Jitsu. I heard you did this last freshers.
Yes, before you made it to Leeds, I was here giving Jiu-Jitsu a go. So today I'm going to show you, Fresher Charlie, how it's done.
I cut off my head and my cheated tongue. I can't think straight and my mouth is numb. Don't shut your eyes till we fade to black.
So the only skills I have is that I come from a family of brothers, so I'm used to being thrown around and having to roll out the way.
My rolling is not going so well. It appears I have the flexibility of a plank of wood, so what can you do? That was good.
So we're just going to do a simple block, taking a bit of balance, just makes it easier basically for you to run away if someone does attack you, and also gives you a chance to throw them, if you want to.
So we've done a good bit of training now, I'd say.
Yeah.
I haven't quite got the basics down, but we're close enough.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
They've given us a knife, or a fake knife at least, to have a go at stabbing each other, so...
But we're not going to stab each other, we're going to block each other with the techniques we've just learned.
Yeah.
Through Chinatown, liar, liar, my house is on fire somewhere between Chinatown and...
I'm actually so surprised, like this isn't what I thought it was going to be at all.
I've done it before, so I kind of knew that there was a lot of floor throwing involved and the occasional knife.
It's a lot, like it's, I was going to say violent, but it's not at all because it's so like...
More like self-defense, but they're aggressive in it, because if you're defending yourself, of course, then you've got to be violent.
So how do you think we did today?
I think you put loads of effort in, which is the key thing, and you gave everything a really good go. Jiu-Jitsu is a really, really hard thing to learn. But you learned some break falling, you learned a throw, which you got really good at, and you've done a couple of locks as well. So hopefully if you need any of it, you'd be able to use it.
So 10 out of 10 for enthusiasm.
10 out of 10 for enthusiasm.
Skill-wise, we're looking at maybe a 5.
I'd say a 6.
A 6?
Oh, that's better than I thought.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well, that was quite an old video. I think that was our members, Charlie and India, who were catching up with Jiu-Jitsu Society a few years ago. We're now joined by Holly, who is the Leeds University Union Welfare Rep. Welcome to the studio. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you.
I guess we'll start off just by saying, what is your role in the union and what do you offer for students?
Yeah, so the rep is like a voluntary position. I'm a volunteer, and basically I just act as like a point of contact between like the welfare societies and the union. So if they have a problem, a question, really anything at all, they want to help with something, they come to me and I either help them answer it or I'll know who to go to for it. And I kind of hold meetings 5 times a year. We all get together, hang out, eat some snacks and kind of talk about what we want to do, what we want to achieve, and then I kind of help them get there.
Nice.
Perfect. And obviously welfare is really important anyway, but right now it's especially important. So has your role become a bit more difficult? Any changes you've kind of experienced in the role since obviously last year?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think trying to kind of innovate ways to kind of come up with raising awareness and engagement all kind of like virtually a lot of the societies are so used, like LGBT used to hold a coffee hour, and they're now doing it on Zoom, and sort of Mind Matters used to hold like peer support groups in person where you could go and meet people who are maybe going through the same thing, and finding out ways to do those virtually and make sure that people still feel like supported and like they have like a safe space to go to. It's definitely been a challenge, but I think all the societies have done really well, like so far.
For sure, and like obviously, talking about safe spaces, you talk about virtual, but obviously people find obviously Zoom quite annoying, but also quite intimidating at times. Is there still that option for like face-to-face meetings and stuff like that from?
I think Mind Matters are currently working on how to get their peer support groups in person, way to get it sort of more socially distanced. And I know the Commuter Society are probably going to see a bit of an influx of membership. Lots of people maybe probably opting to stay at home, and they run like rush hour socials and stuff like that. And I think LGBT have been trying to get some stuff kind of like in the park, try and keep that 6-person limit going, just so people have, you can find people that kind of, that you can relate to. Because as well as societies, like these are also services. Like Leeds Nightline as well is running like remote IMs. So even if you didn't want to join the society, you can still take part because it's a service that they're offering, which I think what the welfare societies are a little bit different than like the ones that are more like hobbies and stuff. They're for all students to join in and as much as you want.
Yeah, for sure. I guess it's sort of also thinking like you're acting as a service to reach out to just normal students who might be struggling, but it's also about the welfare of the members in that society and those who are running it. So sort of, is it your responsibility to sort of just make sure that everyone's well looked after and keeping safe and well?
Yeah, I've done sort of bits and bobs in welfare societies, which is why I got into the role. So I kind of know the people. Jess, the last welfare rep, is like a good friend of mine. So people do come with like either like really technical issues, like we're having an issue with this grant, or hey, my workload on this committee is too much, and things like that. But luckily the welfare society is like, nobody's getting paid for this, everybody's there because they want to do something nice. You're going to find so many lovely people. So it's, kind of makes my job a little bit easier.
I guess it's quite a nice role because you obviously get to see all the work welfare society is doing. Say everyone's volunteering, so it's quite nice to see how students within Leeds kind of pull together and support each other during such difficult times. It's quite humbling in a way. Yeah,
it's been so nice to see them like really pull together. Everyone's really putting in so much effort to make sure that these freshers aren't missing out as much as, maybe they think they are, trying to get sort of, the sort of engagement and awareness out there of the different societies.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what would your advice be to freshers at the moment in terms of, obviously that's a very open-ended question, it's a very big question, but also in terms of advice for freshers, but whether you would encourage them to really engage with the welfare societies on offer?
Yeah, definitely. I really don't think there's any downside to even just having a look. I think the thing with the welfare societies is it's not like you have to turn up every single week and give 100%. If you want to just turn up to coffee hour and just sit and have a cup of tea and not really say anything, even if you just want to be in that space with other people, you don't have to be calling Leeds Nightline every single night or going to every rush hour social. You can kind of dip in and out as much as you want, and however much support you feel like you need. Which I think is something that's really great about the welfare societies is it's really like zero pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
It's great. It's obviously great to see all the welfare societies, as I say, pull together.
Yeah.
And it's also arranged them as well. They offer different services, but at the end of the day, it's just to help students in Leeds, which is really good to see.
Yeah,
really
sure.
important. Obviously, they've adapted quite well, obviously, to the current situation. Virtual, obviously, it's difficult. Like, I think every society's gone through that situation where you've got to suddenly change what the society does overnight, basically.
Yeah.
And again, you kind of, like, we've had other societies come through today, and they've found different ways of operating, even better ways of operating, through online, which is really exciting to see. Do you think some of the changes that the welfare societies have done in response to coronavirus are going to be kind of more permanent fixtures?
I hope so. I think it's really cool to be able to kind of innovate, and there are some things that you can't hope that stick. So the big example I know is Leeds Nightline are now running remotely. So the volunteers are working from home, essentially, and it means that we were able to run throughout the summer, which normally they wouldn't do. And it also means that sort of international students can volunteer, whereas, normally they'd go home and they wouldn't be able to volunteer, but now, that's been accommodated for, which is really great to see. Like, it has become so much more accessible, I think. But yeah.
No, absolutely.
It's great.
That sounds great. And like
Great to hear.
just hats off to all the great work that all of you guys are doing. I mean, if freshers do want to get involved, like what is the best place for them to go, or what do you think is the best way for them to get the support or get involved in these societies?
I'd probably say, I mean, when I was in my first year, the first place I went was the uni website. You just click welfare and you can see all the societies that are there, read what they're about, and go follow their socials, because Mind Matters are sort of posting tips. LGBT are always putting up really interesting stories and stuff, and that's how they're promoting their, the socials, peer support groups, the services that they're providing. It's sort of all on Instagram. Each of them have got their own account.
Just reach out and have a look, I guess, is sort of the best advice to give to freshers right now, isn't it?
For sure. Well, that was a great interview. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Coming up now, we have a promotional video for Irish dancing.
Next up is University of Leeds with Colours.
Second place, Irish dancing.
Promotional videos for Irish dancing and dance expose. Get it right. Speaking of dance, I'm now joined with Felicity, who is the dance rep for this year. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Would you just like to introduce yourself and sort of tell us about what you do?
Yeah, sure. So I've just been elected dance rep, and so kind of dance rep, I'm working with all the societies to kind of make dance at Leeds as great as it is. So one of the main things that I do is I work and organise with like help with like the union, like the main dance kind of performances and like shows that we have throughout the year, which involve all the dance societies. So the first one that we've got is our Intercomp, which is in November, which is taking place virtually this year, classically. And then we have things like the dance show, which is in March, which is like a 3-night-long show, which will hopefully, by that point, who knows, be able to happen in person, but we'll have to wait and see. We have things like the dance ball. And yeah, no, it's just kind of working with the dance societies to really make dance what it is at Leeds.
Nice.
And how many dance societies are there at LUU?
Put her on the spot. There are quite
so many.
A lot.
There is a lot. There's probably about, like, I'd say about 16 or so dance societies. Like, there are so many different societies to get involved with. Like, there really is, like, got like the more like niche ones. Like, we've got like Scottish dancing. There's a new Morris Dance Society, and then you've got more like your street hip hop, like things like that. So there's really like anything you want to get involved with. There's generally a dance society to go with it. So yeah.
I mean, I guess if with most of these societies, you can either come to uni knowing that's exactly what you want to do, or you can turn up thinking, oh, I might be interested in dance, but I'm not sure.
No, absolutely. So I'm part of the Irish Dance Society, and that's just something that I've done since I was 4. So as soon as I came to uni, I was like, I want to do it, like 100%. But most of like the people that I've met, it's just been a case of that it's something they want to try something new or something different. A lot of my friends, like they've started with Irish, now they've started doing like modern, which is like tap jazz, things like that. So. And it's welcome to any level. So you've got like the absolute pros who have been doing it forever and amazing, and then we've also got people who are beginners, and like the way that the teaching standard is so good as well. So people just improve so much. It's just a nice way to kind of learn to do something different at uni, I think.
And in terms of like teaching and training, is that do you get external people in, or is it people who are already in the society who are just really good and know what they're doing?
So it's different for each society. So some societies, for example, in like ballet, modern and street, like they have external teachers come in and teach them. So their classes might be slightly more expensive because they're paying for like external teachers.
Mhm.
But then other dance societies, so Irish, like we teach, so it's just students from in the society that teach. So
Mhm.
really it's the own society's like kind of choice of what they do. Or some societies do a mixture of the two between, so they might just have like a special guest choreographer come in for a week. And yeah, no, it's really like a lot to get involved with.
Wow. Maybe I need to learn how to dance.
I don't think you could dance if you tried.
I'm actually awful. How are you dancing? Are you all right?
After a few drinks, I could probably
Everyone
everyone can dance
that's
after a few
when
drinks,
I
right?
can't. I literally can't.
That's why dance sport's the best thing, because then you get all the dancers who have then had a few drinks, and it's just like dance crazy, you know, it's so much fun.
And I guess, like, what would you say as a rep, you're representative, what is the best thing about the dance societies in general?
I just think it's how friendly and just like a lovely like community like it is within like the dance sector, because it's not even like within your own society, like you just stick to like your own dance style, like everyone mixes with each other, and I made so many friends, and it's like you don't even have to like anyone can do it, and everyone gets an equal opportunity to perform. So it's not just like the best ones get to do everything. Like in the dance shows, we have like the beginners get to do performances, the inters get to do performances. Like, it's really spread out, and it's just a really welcoming environment that I think anyone should get involved with. Everyone just love dance.
She sold it.
Perfect. Well, we've gone from Irish dance to freestyle dance. This is the freestyle dance performance from this year's Riley's Just Gone.
just within your household as a team event that you go out and then like run as a group sort of thing. So we're working to adapt many of our endurance events like that. All of which all the time fundraising for our society, for our charities basically.
So how are these charities chosen? Is like you vote on them, or is the committee take the decision? How
Yes, they're all voted on, so by the committee. We have our community liaison, Rachel, that was organising that, and this morning we just went to visit Leeds MenCap, which are like a disability nursery charity, and we went and saw all their offices and everything and saw all the work they do, so yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, obviously you guys, I mean, I see you guys around on campus a lot, you do a lot of in-person things, really big events and also smaller projects. How are you guys having to adapt everything for this upcoming semester and year?
So we're taking sort of each day at a time. A lot of our events will be online or outdoors. We want to hold more sort of coffee mornings, more sort of personal engagements with people. So our first event that's coming up is a sign language beginners course, which is obviously online. It's with our charity Sense, so we'll be asking for donations to come along to that, and people can learn some sign language. And then a couple of weeks after that, we're doing a stay up for homelessness. So rather than staying out and sleeping on the streets, which would be in a bigger group, which we obviously can't do, we're organising an event where people stay up with their house from 8 p.m. till 8 a.m. and we'll be putting on like events to keep you awake and all the while fundraising. So they're in the works at the moment. There's a few more local projects which will be online or in smaller groups. And a lot of the plans are for the next year with fashion show, Take Me Out, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. It sounds exciting. Obviously, you do so much for those charities. And I'm not going to ask you for a specific number, but last year, how much did you roughly raise?
Last year was obviously lower than usual. It was about 35,000. The previous year was about 72,000.
Wow.
Jesus.
Of which 30,000-ish comes from the fashion show. So if anyone wants to get involved with the committee or just be in the audience or be a model, there's lots of
Bags, your big one.
Yeah.
I guess probably the best question is obviously if there are freshers who are interested or even sort of returning students, what is the best way for them to get involved with the society at this point in time?
At this point, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. It's where we're the first place we're going to put all of our events. Come along to our Give It a Go, come along to our Fresher Stall today, and we'll hopefully be organising some more coffee mornings and that sort of thing, just to get people on board, get people meeting like-minded people, and get brainstorming about some new and creative virtual fundraising events, basically.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I guess you really got to get the creative juices flowing to kind of think of how you're going to go virtual, because like as we've been saying, everyone's kind of sick of Zoom now.
Everyone's so done with
Zoom.
Zoom.
You kind of got to think outside the box in that sort of sense.
Yeah.
And hopefully, by next year, we're not going to have a Zoom fashion show, hopefully.
Oh,
hope by then.
I hope so. End of February, hopefully.
Hope by then. But speaking of the fashion show and the amount of money it's raised, let's look at the highlights for this year's Rag Fashion Show.
that was a highlight reel from RAG just before everything sort of kicked off and lockdown happened. But moving swiftly on from that, we're now joined with Maya, who is with the STAR, which is Student Action for Refugee Society. Welcome.
Thank you.
If you could just, I guess, introduce yourself and tell people who don't know what STAR is about.
So STAR is an organisation that exists in a lot of schools and universities across the UK. And the society in Leeds has kind of 3 central branches. So the first one is campaigns, and they organise fundraisers and campaign for refugee rights. Something they're currently doing now is trying to close the technology inequality gap to make sure refugees still have access to Wi-Fi and stop them being isolated. And then there's the bike scheme, and they basically train refugees to repair bikes, and they also go down the bike hub, I think it's called, and repair bikes and get them sent out. And they're currently trying to get bike parts to Calais right now to put bikes together over there, which is really cool. And then there's volunteering, which is what I'm involved in, and we're in charge of there's 2 sessions a week, English conversation classes, and you don't have to have any previous experience. It's just like getting people their sort of colloquial language better, making sure that everyday life is a bit easier, they're a bit more integrated in society. So it's a really cool thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you do a lot. I didn't know what STAR was. I was an but you do a lot.
Hopefully now you do.
Yeah. I'm really excited now, because you've got the 3 main branches. Obviously with campaigning, very difficult to do right now. How are you approaching it in Corona?
A lot of it is pushing social media. There's also various challenges you can do that other charities are getting involved in. So there's this challenge to swim or run or cycle. I think it's 108 miles, which is the distance between Calais and London. So that's just an example of something you kind of do in your own time to raise money, but in the name of a particular charity. There's also just things like pub quizzes. We're just kind of trying to do whatever we can, because you're right, sort of big events are not possible at the moment, unfortunately.
And in terms of the language and the conversation classes, you said anyone can get involved. Are they having to become virtual, or can you still do stuff in person?
Yeah, so anyone can get involved. You don't need any training. It's just if you're up for having a chat. And you do have worksheets. You sort of go through kind of particular themes and topics, but you don't really need any training. They are going online, so they're going to be on Zoom for this semester. So we're currently looking into ways to get hold of laptops and data packs and stuff, because obviously that's something that's really expensive. And it is our responsibility to make sure they have those things so that the classes can go underway. So we're trying to get everyone's getting new laptops at the moment, so
hopefully,
really appreciate that.
Sure. So obviously with Corona, do you think it's a lot more difficult for as you say, with language classes for refugees to kind of become settled in the UK in that kind of sense?
Yeah, definitely. I think despite Corona, there's a huge lack of integration for so many reasons, even not having enough money to have transport and things. So the conversation classes were just such a cool opportunity to leave your house, to go, to meet people you'd never have the opportunity to meet. So it is a shame that they're on Zoom, but at least there is that level of contact. And also we still need to work very hard on reaching more refugees and making sure people that were struggling before the pandemic are not struggling more because of it. So that's kind of the main focus right now.
And is your focus sort of, obviously it's a lot about sort of community outreach and reaching refugees. Do you, as sort of a student body and a student community, also do stuff which is just sort of hanging out and catching up? And is that a community in itself as well?
Yeah, there's definitely through STAR, I feel like I've met people that from different years in uni, which is always really nice because it's easy, especially when I'm second year now, and last year felt like it was just your accommodation. So it's a really nice chance to get out to meet more people, and also the conversation classes previously you went on a trip, you had to go somewhere in Leeds, so that was also just a really nice opportunity, and everyone's really sound, and because of the different branches everyone's kind of into different things, and you can have more of a choice of which part suits you, which is a cool thing about the society.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it seems you do a lot. I obviously didn't know about STAR, but you really do obviously having conversation classes now. It really seems like you're making a really big difference to their lives, which is just great to see.
Hopefully, that's the idea. I think it's really important because it's so easy whenever you go to a new country to feel like for so many reasons, for cultural reasons, for language reasons, you're just so far apart from everyone else. So just to bridge that gap and make it
absolutely
a bit easier is really important.
And do you think that's sort of probably one of the most rewarding aspects of all sort of one of the best things about actually being involved in this is that sort of you just know that you're sort of trying to do all you can to help other people.
Yeah, and it's nice that you don't need any previous training. It is really just open to absolutely everyone. And it is lovely work. And also you do build relationships with people because you see them every week. And it's nice just in any context watching someone develop at something and get better. So that's a really cool part of it.
Oh, that's really nice. I mean, what is the best way for people who are interested to actually get involved with you guys at this point?
At 3, which is in like 20 minutes.
Yep.
We have a slot on the Freshers Virtual Fair, and that'll be like a whole load of information. But doesn't matter if you miss that, because we're just going to be doing there's this Instagram and a Facebook, and we're going to be updating them. And every time there's a conversation class, kind of give us a diary entry style thing of how it's going to make sure people know that it's still ticking away. Like this problem is still here.
Yeah.
We have to keep on going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So mainly social media. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds great.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned, even though it's been such a short amount of time, I've learned a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
What you can do.
No, I think it's just really important what you do, isn't it? And so it's useful to just try and put the word out and get as many people involved as possible.
Especially right now where it's just so difficult.
Well, no, it's like everyone's feeling isolated at the moment, let alone if you're from a different country. So thank you so much for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you for
I
coming.
really appreciate your time.
Coming up now are some highlights from Varsity. Have a look.
Tell me, is this thing on now? I've been walking along like a marathon now. Tying upwards, making it my bomb now. Tell me, who turned on the alarm now? I got a message when they're greeting and that's all now. I'll see you later, all the haters got it wrong now. We're touching the lightning, we're coming alive, yeah. We're feeling inside, yeah. We got the power. Is everybody with me? It's time to get together, no more enemies. Throw your hands up, can you feel the energy? Yeah. Come on, can you feel like we're this beat? Only something years been chasing down the street. Running like a wild man, going since 15. We're touching the lightning, we're coming alive, yeah. We're feeling inside, yeah. We got the power. We got the power. Yeah. Let's go now. We got the power. Touch the lightning. Come on now. We got the power. Woo. We got the power. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. We got the power. Let's get it. We got the power.
Topic of sport. We're joined by Aunt Eliza from the women's lacrosse team. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
So for someone like me who's never played lacrosse before, I don't even know how it works. What is lacrosse? So basically like a dummy's guide to lacrosse in a way.
So women's lacrosse is obviously very different to men's lacrosse in terms of like the contact and the equipment they use and stuff. But it's essentially like using sticks, tackle each other, like I don't know.
Your ignorance is really embarrassing right now.
No, I just never played lacrosse at school, you know.
Yeah, you use the stick, you shoot the goal, we always score.
Obviously.
And yeah, it's kind of like I guess it's a women's sport that's like relatively contact. It's just like a bit of a novelty.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's pretty much.
Sounds fun. No,
Nice.
well, yeah, just a stick.
I guess do most people who get involved, and I don't know about yourself, are you an avid lacrosse player? Did you play lacrosse at school, or can you join with no experience?
So, I mean, there's so many different levels. We've got like beginners in development who have a completely separate training session every week, and like you can literally be you could never have seen lacrosse, you know, but like, yeah, absolutely not skeevy of what the rules are. Or you can be on the other level where we've got 2 teams, like actual, but we've got a whole squad. So like you basically got the opportunity to be coached at any kind of level. It's all inclusive, like completely. It doesn't matter what level you are.
Cool.
And in regards to the teams, how's competing looking? Can you compete right now against other teams, or what's going on?
So we've been instructed that we can't. We're hoping to do friendlies with other unis, but that's been given the no for now. Hopefully that will change. So we're kind of going to do like internal matches within the uni, and there's been kind of talks with England Lacrosse potentially about doing like a mixed league, but that's very like up in the air at the moment, because I guess things change just day by day, really.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I guess you're fortunate in being a sport, like training can still happen.
Yeah, so from the 5th of October, which I believe is
sometime next
week.
Is it sometime next week?
So I think so.
In the near future.
Yeah, in the near future.
Yeah.
We're going to be training, so like even if you don't have the opportunity to play like actually competitively across other unis, it will just be like an opportunity to like, you know, be active, get out the house, meet people, socialise. Yeah. You know, it'd be nice. Excited to get back out.
Refreshing. I mean, what is socialising looking like for you guys?
Yeah, so in terms of actual socials, it's that's probably a no at the moment. But you know, it's kind of a way to like find ways around it. Like, you know, after trainings, we might kind of like have some tinnies, you know, on the pitch or something like that. Like, just kind of work around it, because it's, you know, especially for like freshers and people like that, or you know, people who are new to the society. Like, it's so important for them to have the opportunity to meet people and, you know, across different halls and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it's like also across one of those societies which like I mean obviously all of them do, but like they really focus on like just it's fun. It's also fun at the same time. It's competitive at a certain level, but also like it's just about having a good time. And so you know, like mixing across all the years and stuff like that, it's a good chance to do it.
Yeah. Or you say it's like so I guess it's like a good community feel.
Yeah. Like with, you know, some of my best friends at the uni are all just like, you know, they were like first years, third years, like it doesn't matter. There's no like pressure. Yeah, it's all kind of, everyone's just there. It's good vibes, isn't it?
So it's good for freshers, obviously struggling in a way to make friends. It's great for them, obviously, we're a bit more.
No.
You say stuck.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as I said, like across all the halls and things, you know, you're not like at the moment you're not going out. You can't really even mix with other flats and stuff. So like, it's a chance. It would be just a chance to get out of the house.
For sure. And what is the best way of freshers to get involved and find you guys?
So our Instagram is probably the best place to find us. Like so we've had loads of messages being like, you know, what's going on. But you know, I think as soon as we know anything concrete, we'll definitely post it on the. So I do the social media, and so it's all, you know, we're all literally just a message away. But that's pretty much.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, easy, isn't it? It's social media, isn't it?
Yeah, we did like our virtual freshers stall thing, which was nice to kind of like meet some people on Zoom. Virtually. But yeah, no, it was good.
Cool.
Good to finally meet them in person instead of just looking at the little
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah, that sounds really sick.
Try and get some games in. But that sounds brilliant. I've learned a lot about lacrosse.
Yeah. But that sounds really sick. I mean, anything, any final closing statements, any words of encouragement to get people to come join, or is it just check it out?
I just think, you know, just take all like every opportunity, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much like this is opportunity. And like, I don't think I personally like my uni experience would be like nothing if I didn't play
Yeah.
lacrosse. Like it's so much fun
Sure.
in so many aspects like of it, and it's
Yeah.
just like the routine, the structure. It's just like it's just good fun.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't, yeah.
No, nice.
You won't
No,
regret it.
yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to ditch this.
Are you going to ditch this?
Ditch.
Well, that's the perfect time then.
Yeah.
Then it's time for some more societies for the last of this week's
Welcome Week's nearly over.
Yeah,
Thank,
what a shame.
Thank goodness.
We'll see you after the break.
Cheers. welcome back to the studio. Thanks for sticking with us.
No.
What's it all about?
So, Theatre Group is the oldest theatre society in the University Union, and with Theatre Group you can act, you can produce, you can direct. There are so many opportunities that you can do. Usually you can go to the Fringe and take a show up. The opportunities are endless.
Opportunities are endless.
So say if I turn up to Theatre Group, like, look, I've made a show, maybe good, maybe bad, I don't know. So you could like put it on for me, I could direct it. I may do that, to be fair. Could do a show about my life.
I don't think I guess the big question for theatre and performance, like, how are things, you might not know, but how are things in theory going to try and work this year with things sort of being online? Can anything happen in person? How are shows going to be able to happen?
So hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be able to have in-person shows, but obviously the rules and the guidelines are changing every day, and we need to put the safety of our members first. But even if in-person activities are a bit limited, we're aiming to have loads of workshops online. There's a workshop going on, well, it went on at 12 today actually, that people can get involved with. We're hoping to have loads of activities that people can join with online, and hopefully have in-person productions with guideline rules and respecting the safety regulations, obviously.
Nice. And I mean, I've done a bit of theatre group, you've done some theatre group. You can turn, I mean, you study theatre though, and I don't, so it is one, you don't need to have drama experience or to be studying drama, do you?
100%. Literally anyone can do anything, even if you study maths, geography, the weirdest subjects, everyone is welcome, and you can get the best experience out of it, even if you've never studied drama in your life, really.
Yeah.
It is cool.
It is.
We love that.
Yeah. Remember.
What is the best way for freshers to kind of get involved then at this point? Would you say, like, I know sometimes we would do socials, that kind of can't really happen anymore. Is it joining and following you on social media? Is it turning up to the workshops? What do you think is the best way of trying to get freshers involved?
I would say following social media handles and looking at our new website is probably the best ways to know all the information about us, and that's usually where we advertise all our workshops and where audition information comes out. So really the first step for freshers to get involved with us is to follow us on social media. But I think in terms of involvement, getting involved with the workshops that are online is probably the best thing you can do at the moment whilst things are still up in the air, but hopefully in-person shows will be happening, fingers crossed.
So you're just aiming, so when the regulations start to change and theatre shows are kind of looking more likely, you're going to try and aim to hit the ground running with a load of shows? Is that the aim?
Because we've got our shows and our proposals, and we've got everything lined up. It's just because some of the productions you can have casts of 12, and obviously we can't do that anymore, and rehearsals you'd have to all social distance, so it's just literally waiting for the government to give us more updates to see if we can organise and run these shows in a safe way with like a safe audience, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
No.
Oh my god, I had a question and it's completely gone.
It's completely gone out your mind.
Oh, what's your favourite thing about theatre group? Like, how did you get involved? What do you think are the best things about this society and why freshers should get involved?
I think it provides a massive community where you just get to know everyone within it. And for me personally, studying theatre, it's given me a lot of, I say work experience, and that sounds so boring, but it's developed my skills a lot more than I could say my course at uni has. And it gives you a massive insight into the theatre industry and roles you could pursue, if that are behind the scenes as well as just acting.
I think that's the thing about society, is that we're learning right now that, you know, you learn so much more from societies than you do from the actual course.
Literally.
Like, I just spend £9 to come to the union, to be fair.
Exactly, and like, even with LSTV as well, obviously, member, woo! But like, from the skills I've learned here, way better than what I've learned on my course. Really, this is like ban university propaganda we're discussing right now. Just cut the tape. But yeah, it is, I really enjoy the community feel of it, and I like feeling part of something bigger, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Oh,
especially now freshers are coming in, they want to be a part of something,
Yeah.
and it's really difficult. So it's great to see like societies are really opening up, like theatre group. Obviously, a lot of people like a bit of acting here and there.
Acting's fun. And also I think the theatre group is so good as well because you can act, or you can direct, or you can produce, or you can set design, or you can do lighting.
Literally so much.
I mean, do you have any, normally I know that you sort of have schemes to sort of help ease people who don't have any experience into the roles. Like, that was kind of useful.
Yeah.
You don't need to have loads of experience.
Yeah. Well, usually we have, what most freshers get involved, what I did as a fresher as well, is shadowed some shows where you get to follow people and learn the skills from there. And we've changed the society this year to have more importance for the shadows, because we both had the same show. We maybe didn't feel the most needed at times, so we've changed our society to really include shadowing and really give them a role that they can introduce themselves into the society, but at a slower pace, so it's not too overwhelming.
Sure.
I mean, any closing final statements, or do you think we've covered everything? Anything coming up?
I would just say, if you're a fresher watching this, or second or third year, postgraduate, whatever, if you want to get involved, follow the social media. I'm the communications officer, so if you want to give me a message and I'll answer your queries. And yeah, have a great freshers.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for joining us, Hannah. I think that is now time to take us to a little promotional video that you have made for Theatre Group. So if you're interested, take a look at this.
Well, that was a really interesting promo. I may become an actor. Like, I think Oscar Glory is like looking towards me. Like,
You're just obsessed with yourself.
oh, you know,
Yeah, okay,
I'm here, there, and everywhere, aren't I? What? So what? I think I could act. Don't you think I could act?
You could act, yeah.
I could, yeah. I think I do rather well.
Okay.
But no, it's been a lot of societies today,
So
haven't
we've
there?
had some great discussions with such a range of societies today. We've still got a few coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We've got advertising,
Marketing and
PR.
public
I
relations.
should know this, and that's what my parents are in. And we've got Music Theatre Society, and we've got Music Society, and we've got Comedy Society. There's still a lot to get through.
I think we need a few jokes after all of this. After this week.
Your joke.
Okay, I'll just walk off the stage then. Thank you for that. But coming up now, let's see a few promotional footage for some societies coming up. Or not. So that was a promotional VT for Nightline there. Now, sadly, Nightline cannot be with us because they are an anonymous service, and obviously they can't be here in person with us, but they have given us a statement they want us to read on their behalf. So they say Nightline, Leeds Nightline, a listening service that is currently running from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. every night. Now, that's via their instant messaging service, which we talked about with the welfare rep just a bit earlier. They're run completely by students, for students, across all the universities within Leeds. By listening service, it means they will provide a safe space for anyone to call and talk about anything they want. Their 5 core values include being confidential, anonymous, non-directive, non-advisory, and non-judgmental. That means, with very few exceptions, everything the caller will say will be kept between themselves and the volunteer. And both the caller and volunteer will remain completely anonymous. They will not tell you what to do by providing advice, nor will they judge you. It is a complete safe space. Now, you may be wondering, how do you use the service? Normally they'll function from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. every night of term with both calls and instant messaging. However, due to coronavirus, they are currently running from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. every night only through their instant messaging service. The link for this, if you really are interested, is leeds.nightline.ac.uk/contact us. So any student is welcome to call in to use the service, whether it's a big problem or a small problem, or simply they're looking for a chat. That is basically the aim of Nightline. If you are looking to volunteer with Nightline, as we said, it is completely anonymous. You can get in contact with them with the email address, that is recruitment@leedsnightline.ac.uk. But moving from Nightline to advertising, marketing and PR, I'm joined with Henry from AMP Leeds. There we go.
That's it.
Sorry, I nearly said Lamps there. That's a completely different society.
Welcome. How are you doing? How's everything going?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Yeah, obviously a different year, but definitely settling into it.
Fantastic. And can you tell us more about, is the best way to say AMPS or AMP?
Yeah, just AMP or AMP, yeah, whichever one.
So what are you guys about? I mean, obviously it sort of says it on the tin, but for someone who really is not very well acquainted with it, what do you guys do?
Yeah, so obviously, like, we're kind of an academic society, so we're linked to like all the marketing courses, but like, it's different from some academic societies. There's not many courses we're directly linked to, so we're pretty much open to everyone, and anyone who's interested in getting to the creative industries or anything to do with advertising, marketing, PR in whatever capacity, we're here for them. And basically there's 3 main things we're doing. So one thing we're doing is we're providing our members with projects they can get involved in, and we've got a lot of businesses, small charities across Leeds involved in them. So as of yesterday, people have had the opportunity to get involved with 5 different charities and businesses. One's a independent run graduate recruitment agency. One's basically marketing agency specialised in ethical and charity kind of marketing, and they're doing some environmental work. And the application forms for them are live now, and we're kind of matching teams up to projects. So even though it's social distance at the moment, I think that's going to be a really good way for basically members of the society to get to know each other by working small teams with businesses from across Leeds. And obviously it's a really good chance to get to know marketing a bit more. So whatever your level of experience, basically there'll be a place for you. We're going to match people with less experience to people with more experience. So that's one thing we do, projects. The other 2 things we do are socials and careers events. So careers events are going to range from talks to workshops. We're going to have CV workshops that also are marketing specific workshops. So stuff like social media marketing and Photoshop, graphic design, that sort of thing. And then we're going to have socials as well, which we're going to take things as they come, really. Like, they might be on Zoom, but we are planning on some workarounds depending on what Boris says. Like, obviously what happened this week might have changed things a bit, but we're trying our best to have some workarounds and have different options for everyone, however comfortable you are. So yeah, they're the main things we do, really.
Sure, sounds great. So do you offer, you talked about the lesser experienced members, do you offer training, some assistance to them? Because obviously there is so much to marketing than just a bit of text, really, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something the more you get involved, the more you'll learn. But so what we do is obviously we're going to do these workshops which are going to introduce marketing. We've got our first one coming up on the 8th, which is an overall introduction to marketing. So if you're new to marketing, it'll be a really good way to kind of just understand what it is, because there's a lot of misconceptions a lot of the time. People think marketing, advertising, the exact same thing. There are some differences. And then also, as we're going to support our members as they get onto these projects, so obviously we're going to pair them up with more experienced and less experienced members, and I think that's going to be a really good way of learning things. And obviously we're going to have support for everyone on our projects. Like us as a committee, we're going to keep in really good contact with the people on the projects. So yeah, they're all going to have support as they go, really. So they're the main ways of getting to know it. But as a whole, like getting involved in the society, I'd probably say that is the best way to learn about marketing if you just want to, and advertising, PR, obviously, if you just want to learn a bit alongside your studies and obviously the projects, depending on what time commitment you have. That's another thing we take into account when building the team. So we're basically trying to come up with ways that work around the students, and our main goal is really to give people that experience before they get into jobs, because obviously given the careers market at the moment, it might be quite hard to get a grad job given there's less grad jobs because of COVID. So we're really making it our mission to make getting experience and learning hands-on as accessible as possible this year.
Sounds so interesting. Like,
It
I had
does.
no idea that this even existed as a society.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, would you say that it is mainly for people who are doing that as a degree, or is it just for anyone who's actually got an interest in marketing and advertising who don't need to actually study something related?
100%. Like, we get a lot of people from media, design, that sort of thing, and also from business degrees, marketing, but it's really open to anyone. Like, if you go for a marketing grad job, like, they pretty much accept any sort of degree, as long as you've got those transferable skills. So this is about building those transferable skills. So it's definitely not degree restricted. Like, if you look on the LU website, we are in that academic section, which I think limits us quite a bit, because there's not a direct marketing degree at Leeds, and because we're something that's so open to all societies, like, we're kind of trying to get out of that box, and not that we're in that box, like, because at the moment, like, we're definitely not only solely marketing people, but yeah, it's a smaller society, and we're really trying to boost it, and we have been doing a lot. We've got way more events. Last year they had 1 project throughout the whole year. This year we've already got 5, and last year they had 2 people in the committee. This year we've got 5. So again, like, that's probably why it's not so well known, and like, we really want as many people getting involved this year as we can to make it more well known, and we're gonna kind of try to boost our profile by providing value, and that's what we think is important, really.
Sounds like you've got a lot on offer for
Yeah,
students.
that's exciting.
Yeah, it sounds like you're really enthused by it. I mean, if someone is interested and wants to get involved, what is the best place for them to sort of find you and to sort of start, I don't know, getting involved?
Yeah. So obviously check our social medias. We've got a page and a group on Facebook, AMP Leeds. If you're going to join one thing, join the group on Facebook, because that's the best way to interact with us and stay updated. We're Leeds AmpSoc on Instagram, and yeah, we've been announcing everything on there as well. So if you follow us on either of those, you'll know what's going on. And then yeah, if you don't have Facebook or Instagram, you can email us, and then you can get on our mailing list. But I don't know the email off the top of the head, but yeah,
It's fine.
Find that out on our Facebook, email me, and you can get on the mailing list. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Or they could always find out on the Leeds University website as well, through email as well.
That's probably the best way if you don't have Facebook and Instagram. Get on the website.
That is perfect. Well, thank you for joining us. That was really interesting.
I know.
I've learned. I feel like I can market anything now, basically. What? I'm just saying. Yeah, you could do.
I'm glad you feel so...
Infused.
Yeah.
Enthusiastic. Well, coming from marketing, we're now looking at Backstage Society. Here's some promotional footage from them.
You live on Avenue Q. You live on Avenue Q.
I'm ready for destiny. My dresses are pearl. I'll take what is rightly mine with curtains unfurled. I will not quit. I won't be forgotten. I will shine on evermore. I'm ready to take a vow. I've taken a solemn vow to my destiny here and now. I'll astonish the
Well, that was some promotional footage there from Musical Theatre Society, and I'm happy to say that James from Musical Theatre has joined us in the studio. Hello.
Hi, lovely to meet you guys.
Welcome to the Riley Smith. Well, you must be used to this place. You obviously...
Yeah, I've been here a few times, although I don't think we'll be back here for a little while, unfortunately.
No, but say it looks a bit different from obviously the amazing sets you have in some of your shows.
Well, that's all down to LU backstage. They do a fantastic job every time we do a show. They always provide excellent sort of technical support and, you know, put the sets up, and I can't speak highly enough of backstage. They've been great. The collaboration we have with them is really good.
Wow. Good to hear.
So obviously, musical theatre can't really happen fully right now, but for freshers who are interested, what have you put on to make sure freshers can kind of feel involved in the society in that sense?
Yeah, so freshers are actually really important to our society. So this year, the full committee that we have are all final years. So, you know, we really want to push, you know, first years getting involved with the society. So we had our virtual stall the other day where we were able to sort of promote what we're going to be doing this semester and tell people a little bit about what we do normally so they know, you know, what we normally get up to. But, you know, this semester, like you said, it is very different. Unfortunately, there are the restrictions in place, which means that we can't have traditional rehearsals as we would like to within the union. However, we are sort of looking at doing an alternative performance. So we're looking at potentially trying to secure a rehearsal space outside of the union and do socially distanced rehearsals in very small groups to put on a showcase. And hopefully by the time we get to putting that on in December, something like that, the restrictions would have eased up and we can put that all together and perform it to, again, a socially distanced audience in that performance space.
That's brilliant.
It sounds like, yeah, you're
yeah, because
you've got to roll with the challenges
Yes.
that obviously other things happen. And like you could easily say, oh, we just can't happen this semester, so we won't. But you seem like you've sort of adapted really well in sort of like a practical sense. I mean, obviously, I feel like MT and a lot of the theatre and like music societies are really quite sociable. Is there sort of the normal community socialising aspect that you're going to sort of try and continue as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard because obviously socials in the traditional sense, again, they can't happen, you know, even more so than rehearsals. However, we are trying to sort of navigate that, and our social sec so far have been really good at sort of navigating those guidelines and, you know, making sure that we're still doing things. So whether that's, you know, meeting up in smaller groups, because we are such a tight-knit group of friends as well, and, you know, any first years that would want to get involved in society, you know, it is a whole new web of friends, and, you know, you'll make contacts and, you know, make friends for life through society. So I definitely recommend, you know, the social aspect of it. And even with the sort of restrictions and guidelines, you know, the social sector is so creative, they're so innovative. I'm sure that they'll find many ways of, you know, socially distanced meetups, Zoom quizzes, Zoom calls that we've had over summer, stuff like that, and it's all good fun.
Wow, it sounds really exciting. Obviously, it's because like you are obviously theatre restrictions are, you know, quite a lot, but then obviously musical theatre, you've got to be even further distance because you're singing, so it's really difficult to like kind of get back to normal. So if you're like, for example, I can't sing. Obviously that's very difficult, but how accessible are you to people who may have not acted before, may have not sung before? How accessible is it to join the society?
I mean, just to flip it back onto you, you say you can't sing. What I always say to people that say that is, you know, Troy Bolton said he couldn't sing, and, you know, but no, in all seriousness, you know, what I say to people is, if you've got a passion for musical theatre, then come along and audition, you know. Not every show is for every person, you know. And that's the beauty of the society. We have such a range of musicals that we put on. So, you know, last year, for example, we had very contrasting musicals, and, you know, I was in Sweeney Todd, it's very dark, it's very sort of, you know, macabre, whereas Avenue Q, on the other hand, is very comedic and very light-hearted and funny. So I think there's something for everyone, and it's about playing to your strengths and, you know, looking at that and thinking, that's a bit of me, I'm going to give that a go. And, yeah, I'd say to anyone that thinks they do have a passion for that, or they think they would suit something, then just give it a go. And, you know, the worst that can happen is, you know, you try for the next one.
Sounds great. Maybe I have to try it then.
Maybe you will.
Maybe
I guess obviously for freshers coming in, I know with sort of theatre music societies, like, so is it just you sing and act? Like, what other opportunities are there? Is it choreographing and producing and directing?
Yeah, that's again the beauty of the society, you know, and you don't even have to be a part of the society beforehand to do that. You know, I've got lots of friends that have come into the society and maybe they're on theatre and performance as their degree and they know people and, you know, they'll propose a show and direct it or produce it. So there's really a range of opportunities outside of just the performance side of things. Like I mentioned before as well, backstage do a lot of stuff with us for the more technical side of things if you're interested in that. But what I'd also say is, you know, outside of just the performance and the shows that we do, there are also opportunities to get involved with things like the committee, where you can be sort of, you know, in charge of, you know, sponsorship and fundraising or social sex, and that's all really great experience for life as well. You know, outside of university, when you're applying for jobs and stuff, it's really useful to have that kind of experience of leadership and stuff like that.
For sure, for sure. So obviously we've been speaking to other theatre societies and they've got shows like in the pipeline. Does musical theatre have any shows you're kind of thinking about putting on when we can?
Well, yeah, like I say, we were considering doing an open air show. I know TG are probably doing something like that at stage. Unfortunately, that's not really viable for what we want to do. But like I mentioned, we are looking at doing that socially distant showcase, which should be happening, you know, this semester, hopefully, fingers crossed, if the guidelines allow us. And there'll be information on auditions for that very soon. So if people do want to find out a bit more information about the society, then our social media pages are all really good for that. The Facebook page especially, LUU Music Theatre, is really great for keeping up to date with everything that we've got going on. Also, the Instagram at LUU Music Theatre is really great for keeping updated with everything that we're doing.
Brilliant.
So inspired.
Maybe I do need to audition then.
Maybe you should. That sounds great. I mean, I guess just any closing comments, or like for you personally, what is your favourite thing about being in the society?
My favourite thing about being in the society is definitely just the group of friends that you make through it. You know, it is like a family, and you know, I've got friends that have graduated that I still keep in touch with and see regularly. And equally, you know, there are people that came into the society at the very end of last year, just before the pandemic, and I've made really good friends with them. And you know, it's really a great thing to be able to have such a large and expansive group of friends that almost feel like family.
Oh, thank you so much for
That's
coming and
wonderful.
talking to us.
That's wonderful.
I think next, I mean, on the same topic of singing and you know, performance, we've got a little promotional video for the Songsmiths, who are the university a cappella group. So take a little look at that.
We're the Songsmiths, the award-winning a cappella group from the University of Leeds, and we're looking for talented singers and beatboxers to join our society this year. Whether you've been in choirs your whole life or have never sung in a group before, we are open to anyone, from any background and any university in Leeds. Unlike a lot of singing societies at Leeds, you don't need to be able to read music to be a songsmith. We're much more interested in how your voice sounds and what you're like as a person. The question we always get from new members is, so what is a cappella?
Excuse me?
You may have seen the Pitch Perfect films and have some sort of an idea, but it's not completely the same, even if we do compete in the same competition. We perform using only our voices, making beautiful harmonies and covering songs from a wide range of genres. This year we'll be singing songs by Lizzo, Fleetwood Mac, Daft Punk, Florence and the Machine, Lauryn Hill, and many more. Throughout the year, we perform to thousands at international competitions and gigs across Leeds and the UK. We are also planning on taking a show up to the Edinburgh Fringe in August, after selling out all our performances when we went last year. We also love to collaborate with other societies and enjoy regular socials, everything from karaoke and costume parties to our famous weekend away mini break. So if you have a passion for singing and want to join a fun, inclusive society, a cappella is surely the one for you. Auditions for this year are now open for a short time only. Full information on how to audition is in the description, but basically all we need is a video clip of you singing a verse and a chorus of a song you love, or showing off your beatbox skills. And in the meantime, follow us on our socials to get an idea of who we are and what we do. Our committee are super friendly and we can't wait to get to know you better. If you have any questions at all, please drop us a message and we'll get back to you straight away. Thanks for watching, and we'll hopefully see you very soon.
So that was a promotional video for the Songsmiths, as Eliza said, the university's a cappella group. Now, on the same topic of music, we're joined by Lara from LUU MS. Is there a better way of saying the acronym, or?
Well, members kind of stick to like LOOMS because it's just quicker
Looms.
to say. Yeah.
Actually, Looms.
I mean, for those of you who don't know, what is Looms?
So LOOMS is Leeds University Union Music Society, and so throughout the year, normally, we run 10 ensembles. So 4 of these are auditioned, which you can audition for on different instruments, and then 6 of these are unauditioned. So our audition ensembles are chamber choir, symphony orchestra, symphonic wind orchestra, and symphonic and chamber orchestra, there we go. And then the other 6 are concert band, brass band, symphonic choir, chorus choir, composers ensemble, and there's one other, but there's always 10, so I always... anyway, so this year, how we're running it a bit differently, especially this semester. So we are running... we're asking members to join regardless, and so auditions are underway at the moment until tomorrow evening. They close tomorrow evening. So so our kind of main aim this year is to create kind of a community, like still have the community feeling. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to run small kind of 6 people socials, so that we can outside. One of our ideas is that we are going to run kind of walking tours through Leeds, and to kind of point out the different gig venues that there are, to let people know the kind of music that's happening. And also our idea is we're going to, as cheesy as it sounds, we kind of want to make like small kind of families within our ensembles, so people can get to know 4 other people like to a closer extent, from kind of older years or younger years, and then people from older years can give advice. So yeah.
Oh wow,
Wow,
there's a lot there.
I mean, there are so many words in a little list of things. I wouldn't know where to even try and start comprehending what the difference is between them all. But I presume you say some are audition, some are not. It means that anyone can get involved no matter what experience they have.
Exactly. So with our open ensembles, it's open to anyone, any standard. So even if you've just picked up an instrument, like there'll be normally there'll be a part that you can play, and it's very open to everyone. Obviously we really want to get rehearsals underway as soon as possible, but due to restrictions we actually can't at the moment, which is why we're focusing more on kind of the music community, and then people can do virtual things, and trying to set up maybe some like virtual orchestral projects and things like that.
Okay. So is it at all possible to like rehearse from home in a way, like over Zoom, or is it like something obviously like Zoom fatigue in a way? Is it something you're not really focused on?
The kind of like the whole point of rehearsing with people is that you're there like you rehearsing at the exact same time, and because of different people's lag and everything, it's kind of, we thought about it, we really have, but it's not
It sounded a bit funny, wouldn't it? Everything out of like sync.
Yeah, it would be quite messy, but we can record ourselves and then put them together. Kind of, it's not as good, but we can still create projects.
Yeah, it's the next best thing.
Yeah,
what we can do right now.
Yeah,
sounds exciting. Like, so obviously, is it anyone can join, or is it more focused towards the music students in a way?
So anyone can join, even if you don't play an instrument. You can still join with what we call a departmental membership, which is £5 for the year, and so you can join if you don't play an instrument, or if you play, for example, a solo instrument like piano, accordion, or something that maybe doesn't fit into a normal ensemble, and then you can attend what we have kind of LOOMS lectures. So we get professionals from outside to come in and talk to our members. This ranges from kind of local people, but also kind of world famous people. For example, last year we had Bill Lawrence from Snarky Puppy give like a masterclass, and we've had kind of people from Opera North come in, and so yeah, you've got all that, which you can actually still look forward to this year, with the added benefit of we're trying to get people from Europe and America as well, and people from abroad to give us lectures and presentations, because obviously it will be virtual. So yeah.
Would you normally be able to get like all these musicians from other parts of the world normally to come to Leeds, or is it because of everything's virtual now, it's a lot easier just to invite someone to speak to you?
Exactly. So obviously, expenses-wise, getting people from abroad would cost a whole lot more, especially if they were, obviously if they're in the country anyway, that would be great, but it's a whole lot harder to get them to do things. So that's kind of what we're working on at the moment. Yeah.
Wow. It sounds like you guys have so much on offer, and obviously, like, the pandemic's thrown so many curveballs at so many people, and it affects every society in such different ways. But it seems like you've sort of managed to find a nice way of sort of being able to overcome the problems. I mean, what is the best way for freshers or students who are interested to get involved with you this semester?
So what I would recommend is so looking at our website, which is luums.org, and we put updates on there the whole time, and all the information about our society is on there, and also on our Facebook page, which is Leeds University Union Music Society, all written out. It's not like shortened to Looms or anything. And our Instagram is LUU Music Society, all lowercase. But what we're doing next week is, during our kind of normal rehearsal times for all our ensembles, we're hosting online taster sessions where people can talk with our wider exec, which is kind of our management kind of executive team, so our conductors and managers of our ensembles, and what kind of they have plans for this year, and just to get to know what each ensemble is about.
There is so much on offer.
Do you play an instrument?
As I said earlier, I used to play the guitar in primary school, and I absolutely butchered James Bond. Like, my mum still bullies me about it to today, because it's like, obviously you think of the James Bond theme tune, it's quite fast paced, but I was like, ding, ding.
So he might not be joining?
No.
What instrument do you play?
I play viola.
Oh, wow.
That's so lovely.
It is.
Gosh, it seems like it's feeling like a quite big society, but you're still able to sort of find your groups within it, which seems quite nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless there's anything else that you really would like to sort of say to sort of help invite freshers to come join you.
It's a super friendly society, and like there's a whole range of people there from all subjects. I mean, you get computer scientists, you get environmental students, you get music students. Like, yeah, it's a really friendly and great way to meet people. Yeah.
That sounds great. Well, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Coming semester.
Best of luck. Well, we're going to now, after the interview, we're going to have a short little promotional video of what Looms actually is.
To record this shit.
Oh god.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay. To repeat, it's the relationship between these two is resurrection, and the style is horror.
Arise!
I can't believe you brought me back from the dead.
Under the hour of the moon.
Ah, having a great
You have become one with soil and dirt, and you
Oh,
are my
Kevin,
son reborn.
Kevin, for once in your life, shut up. Oh, I got some peace and quiet when I was dead. Having a great party with, I was just having a great party with Marilyn Monroe and Gandhi, and you
I'm
bring
sorry.
me back. What do you want? What do you want, Kevin? What do you want, Kevin?
I'm sorry, I was just trying to do you a favour, all right? Because I thought, you know, we still have some stuff to discuss when you died, which was like really rude of you, by the way, just like popping off. No, unfinished conversations. David.
I fell off a cliff while I was on holiday. That wasn't popping off.
Pause. We shall now transition to the genre of a cult recruitment film.
Yeah, on holiday with your boyfriend that you didn't tell me about, cheating on me and invalidating our marriage, and that's why you're going to go to hell unless you follow these 14 steps to redemption.
14? Sorry, the writing's a bit small. Could you read those 14 steps for me?
Yeah, you know, I was thinking 14 seems like quite a big number when I said it, but I'm really glad you asked me to elaborate. So the first step is repentance. You've got to repent all of your sins away. The second step is kill all sheep that you see. Really important to our leader, that you kill all of the sheep, because that's the only thing that will get you into heaven. The third step is no clothes that aren't made of mud.
It's now a Greek tragedy.
You seek to induct me into your cult when I am but a zombie. But I see the hubris of your actions.
You know not what we went through while you were in the ground, Aeschylus. We, the gods came, they sent fire and rain, bad rain, and it was an omen. And it was shit. It was raining all the time, and now it's stopped raining now that you're back, Aeschylus.
You are Kevin, I am Aeschylus.
Yes.
Okay. It's now a rom-com.
Sorry. I totally just walked into you, Aeschylus. I didn't mean. Sorry, I've dropped all my resurrection papers on the ground. Could you help me?
I'm sorry. A bit of my stomach and my rib fell off because I was recently brought back from the dead. But I guess I'll have to. I guess I'll pick up these books for you, Kevin.
Oh, thank you.
Things are never going to develop between us.
Yeah, no, completely.
Work. I'm a zombie.
And I'm your ex-husband.
You're a cultist.
It's a horror musical.
I hate it here. I see now, Aeschylus, that in your life I am a lesser character, and as such, do not have any important singing to do. I just provide small lines of dialogue between each song. So I am here to introduce your monologue.
I think that you think because I'm a zombie, I'm easy. And let me tell you, I'm not.
Wow, I love this beat poetry musical that we're in. Premiering at the Fringe next year.
I actually lured you here to this place for one reason, and the reason is to kill you. Dun dun dun.
Okay, into soliloquy.
Gasp! Upon the moon and cry, Aeschylus, because I brought you back from the dead, and now you're a shit bitch, Aeschylus. You're a bastard man.
And to wrap it off, it's now an anime.
Fuck, hang on. Kevin Senpai,
What is it, Aeschylus Chun?
I'm transferring to a new high school at the end of this semester, and I wanted to see you one last time.
But if Aeschylus transfers to a new high school, that means I can never invite him to the homecoming dance.
Oh no, my heart is doing the duckies. I can't. I wanted to see you one last time before I before I head off to the new school for zombies, where maybe I can be accepted and I can find other zombies to fall in love with.
Huh.
Kevin, will you sit with me and watch the fireworks?
Scene! Oh, wow. Fucking hell.
That was so good. Oh my god.
Promotional video from Comedy Society, and we're joined by a representative from Comedy Society. Welcome, Laurie, to the studio.
Hi, it's lovely to be here.
Well, thank you for coming with us. So, just for the core basic audience, what is Comedy Society? What does it entail?
Comedy Society brings together anybody who enjoys making friends by laughing together, basically. Laughter is so important in this time, and it's we've kept meeting up over the summer, and we've just kept each other going.
Sounds great. Like as you said, it's so important right now because everyone's a bit. How would you say? Everyone's a bit low. Yes.
And potentially, I guess, feeling a bit isolated as well. So it's nice sort of thing of laughter brings people together, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, well, I know we were just briefly talking about how you used to do improv training. What kind of comedy do you get up to and create in Comedy Society?
So when lockdown happened, we all kind of shifted online very quickly. We have what's called a Discord server, which is basically like a Facebook group chat, but it's a lot less bad and it's much easier to follow. So we organise a lot of events over Discord, and over the summer we've tried out lots and lots of events. We've test-driven lots of different things. So we've done online improv workshops, we've done Jackbox party games, we've done like script readings of comedy shows. We've read Blackadder, we read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and we've also been playing Among Us recently, which is a really fun like sort of social deduction game. So we've been doing quite a lot of community activities, but all of us have an interest in sort of bringing fun to each other's lives.
And you touched on there. You obviously spoke about improv. Is Comedy Society just around improv, or is there more parts and segments to it?
So we try to give the members what the members ask for. So we're not going to put on a workshop if nobody wants to go to it. So when I first joined, we had a lot of people interested in writing, a lot of people interested in stand-up, and then in the last year or so, we've had more people interested in improv, and so we've done a lot more improv workshops. We had some professional teachers come in and do some more intensive workshops about improvising like 40-minute pieces of material rather than just sketches, and people got a lot out of that.
That sounds really good. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. People, or freshers, or people who are returning say, oh, you know what? I mean, how many people actually really come with comedic experience? I presume it's not many. Like, how do people tend to actually fall into the society?
Well, the way that I see Comedy Society is it's not about showing up and like immediately writing a brilliant sketch or making an amazing joke. It's about turning up with a willingness to make life better for other people through comedy. And so we accept anyone who wants to do that in whatever capacity it is. So the main thing that I've been doing is teaching improv. And improv is improv comedy is an art form all about you get on stage and you basically make up a comedy sketch or a story together with no planning at all. And people think it's really difficult and you have to just be a really funny person to be able to do it. And there are some, but that's not the case at all. Improv, our philosophy about improv is about learning to be less scared and learning to put yourself on stage and know that who you are and your perspective on stuff is enough to be funny.
So it's quite good for your confidence then, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's improved my confidence dramatically since I started doing improv.
That's brilliant to hear, because obviously I feel like, you know, you are so nervous when you first come to university, and obviously with freshers especially, that it's good to see a society that you can go to it and be like, you know, I can improve my confidence and feel more comfortable just within a society, but also about yourself, which is really refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
So obviously, shows, how they playing out, because obviously you've been saying you've met online, how are you going to obviously display your comedic talent?
Well, so I have to be honest and say that in-person shows are just not going to happen for a while because it's not safe. So what we are doing is live streamed shows. So this Saturday at 7 p.m, we are doing a live streamed comedy show called Dyson Cozy, and it is. I'm trying to find a way to. I'm eternally trying to find a way to explain Dungeons and Dragons to people who've not played it before. But basically, comedians play characters in a story that's created by another comedian, which will be me this week, and they roll dice to try and do stuff as those characters. So the story that we're going to explore this week is going to be about 3 bears who are trying to steal a really expensive pot of honey. And that story will unfold over a few hours with our comedians playing those characters.
That sounds really fun.
It
does sound really fun. It feels like something. Can anyone tune into this? How could they find it?
Yeah, anybody can find it. If you go on Facebook and search for LUU Comedy Society, it'll be listed under our events. It's called Dice and Cozy Honey Heist, and anyone can tune into it. It'll be on YouTube live stream. People can chat alongside the show as it's happening. Also, you can just listen to the show. You can just listen to the show while you're doing washing up or whatever. And we'd love to see as many people as we can. We especially love to welcome freshers because it's difficult enough to find your tribe as a fresher, and COVID has just made it way more difficult. And so we want to welcome freshers. We want to help freshers just have a nice time, basically.
Yeah. Sounds like it feels like a really nice community that you have sort of in the Comedy Society.
It's a very positive community, and it's very much a community that doesn't use humour as an excuse to dunk on people. Like when I do improv sessions, I always go, if you like, please don't do Louis C.K. humour here, because that's not what we're about. I think that's the best way to describe it. You know, we don't use humour to to make fun of minorities and stuff. You know, that's not what we're about. It's also a very queer positive community. There's quite a lot of queer people. I'm trans myself, and it's just been a really nice place to hang out with people.
Sounds so positive. I can tell, from just talking to you, how much it sort of means to you. I guess in sort of 3 words, what would you, or maybe 3 is limiting, but sort of what's the best sort of ways of sort of describing your society and community?
3 words.
3 words. Let's go for 3 words.
Accepting, loving, delightful.
Oh, that's so positive. And it's the fact that you could describe that without having to say the word funny. Because obviously you guys are all intrinsically funny.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a brilliant society as well. Obviously, we need some comedy right now, but also for yourself as well. It seems to be really good. Just right now, we all need a bit of comedy. We all need a bit of confidence.
Yeah.
We all need some cheering up.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
For sure.
The best way to join our community at the minute is to go again onto the LUU Comedy Society Facebook page. Yeah. There's a link to our Discord there. If you just click the link, you'll get. It'll take you to our Discord, and also when you join our Discord, there's a little introductory thing that explains how Discord works and what the rules of the server are. So if you've never used Discord before, it's pretty easy to pick up, and it's a really great way to talk to other people.
That sounds amazing.
That's great.
I'm so glad. Said any on such a positive note.
I know.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. To end on another positive note, though, let's have a look at our own trailer. This is the LSTV trailer.
You're watching LSTV.
You're watching Leeds Student Television.
Welcome to LSTV.
Leeds Student Television.
Alright, what's going on? It's Youngblood, and you're watching Leeds Student Television.
This is Leeds Student Television's coverage of Leeds Festival 2019.
Easy, it's Tom Brennan, and you're watching LSTV at Live Audience.
This is Varsity 2019.
Let's go volley some balls.
We're live at Leeds Beckett Uni,
West Park.
First Direct Arena.
Today we are going to try American snacks for the first time.
Today we're in London, covering the Put It to the People protest march.
In 24 hours' time, polls close and we go live.
Today, I spoke to Abdul Aziz, a representative of Black Lives Matter Leeds, about the movement and how people can get involved in advocating for change.
and welcome to Leeds Student Television. We are here for our first live show of the year from our studio right here in Leeds University Union.
Welcome to the end of the show. I mean, that was our very own promotional trailer. Obviously, we are big representatives of Leeds Student Television. It's been a wild week. I can't believe this is Welcome Week pretty nearly come to a close with the acceptance of Virtual Fruity.
Yes, I totally forgot about Virtual Fruity. It's just like this week has been not long, but it's been quite intense. It's like, oh my God, it's like...
It's gone so quickly, but we've done so much. We've talked to so many societies all across the range of categories that are on offer here in the union, and they're on offer to all students who are based in Leeds. So, I mean, to any freshers, I think our words of advice is say, just if anything remotely catches your interest, just get involved.
Give it a go.
Give it a go.
Give it a go.
And you will eventually, I think society is the best way to find your community. Oh, God,
your friends.
You're my best friend.
But also as well, it's like, I think every single person here, first, second, third years, have found new kind of societies that they never knew existed before, and even some that have actually quite interested them, and they may enjoy, which is...
Absolutely, and I think this is probably the year of really, you've just got to sort of put yourself out there a little bit, like everyone, otherwise you're going to be sort of stuck in your room, online, with your flat, and like, it just shows you the range of opportunities that are on offer for students, despite the very unconventional and unpleasant circumstances.
Well, with 300 plus societies on offer, not just to uni of students as well,
Yeah.
it's like there is definitely...
Something's got to tickle your fancy somewhere.
There's something for everyone.
Something
for everyone. Even though it's a bit corny.
But I guess that brings us to the end of the show. I mean, the only other
Is that it?
The only other society to plug is Leeds Student Television, of course. If you are interested in getting involved, obviously we've done a massive project this week, but we sort of run our general meetings every Thursday at 5:30 on Zoom. I know we hate Zoom, but we're just going to roll with it for now. But we've got opportunity for freshers who would be, if anyone's interested in television production. And
Well, we are award-winning student television, as the sign says.
Absolutely. So drop us a message if you're interested in Leeds Student Television. That's the only other society I have to plug. My only other main thank yous are to every member who has been, every society who has come and talked to us, everyone in the union who has helped set this up, and to our incredible crew who have been on a rotating basis throughout the week. We've not tried. We have kept this completely COVID safe, and thank you to everybody. Well done. You've done an amazing job.
Round of applause.
A round of applause. Yay! Well done. But yeah, good luck to everyone with the rest of the semester. I think
That's it.
That's it from us here at Student Television.
Thank you for watching. It's been 5 days of 2.5-hour-long shows. Well, this one's actually gone 3 hours.
3 hours. We've talked to over 50 societies. We've talked to around 10 representatives in student exec. So it's been a massive feat, and it's been really rewarding for us.
For sure. But make sure you keep up with us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok,
On Instagram, on Spotify,
on LinkedIn.
On but Facebook seems to be the best place to find those societies. And if in doubt, go to the LUU website, and you will find a society which will suit you.
For sure. But it just leaves for us to say thank you for watching. Keep up to date with LSTV and
Goodbye.
stay safe. See you soon.